Chnstmas. Welcome to Pick a Licks. We wish you a Merry Christmas. The Dream Band Podcast.
The Christmas edition.
With me, Dan,
And your co-host,
Danny Beardsley.
Pick a Licks.
Dude.
Doo-doo-doo.
Don't know why, but you get me every time with that one. How are you doing?
I never know what's going to actually happen.
No, neither do I. We kind of start these a bit blind, don't we?
Yeah.
So,
but I thought that one was extra cheery because it's Christmas time.
are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah. Oh, we need the Christmas lights on.
Oh, we do. How do I initiate those?
You just press the button next to the...
Alexa, turn the Christmas lights on.
It's not that advanced in this household. Merry Christmas, listeners. I hope you have a very wonderful, fun Christmas time. Christmas engaged.
I've done it, dude.
Gaboosh. So, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? We went to Miles Kennedy last night, didn't we?
We did indeed. What a gig. It was awesome,
What a
wasn't it?
vocalist.
There was a few things, first of all.
Yeah,
Just fell off the desk from my elbow. First of all, I regret having that flat white at 7 o'clock at night because it kept me awake until 4 a.m.
Okay.
Bad mistake.
4 a.m. is quite extreme. That's like a 9 hours of caffeine.
Yeah, but I had a coffee before that as well.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Like 20 minutes before. So it was just such a bad idea.
You was double caffeinated.
I think the gig at Rock City was sold out.
It seemed that way, didn't it?
It was queuing all the way around the corner to the car park, weren't we?
It was rammed.
It was, yeah.
Rammed, absolutely rammed. Devin Townsend was awesome.
He was incredible.
Some surprise songs in there as well.
Asked me if I bought a T-shirt.
Danny, did you buy a T-shirt?
I did buy a T-shirt.
I'd like to say it's a nice design.
I'm wearing it right now, actually.
But the price was high.
I like a T-shirt with a print on the back and a print on the left breast.
But only the left breast.
Only the left.
Not the right breast.
No,
the right breast must remain uncovered.
It remains...
For reasons only... I don't want to know the reasons why, to be honest.
I don't even know why. I think it's just... Yeah. Normally you have badges on the left-hand side, don't you?
Yeah, you do, yeah.
Normally.
What, like military badges?
Yeah. It's like above the heart.
Those people that have been to war and have like 500 medals all kind of down there.
I can't really compare a Miles Kennedy T-shirt to someone who's sacrificed their life in the military. Let's lighten the mood. The gig was fantastic, and there was two things that were quite monumental.
Bloody hell, monumental.
Brand new sound system.
Oh, yeah.
First time we've experienced it anyway.
It was, yeah, it was great.
So it was a lot clearer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. And I think it's the first time you've been to a gig at Rock City sober.
Yes.
Did you have a good time still?
I had a great time, thank you, yeah. Brilliant.
There you go.
The sound system was awesome as well. It took a few songs to get balanced, I think, but once it was balanced, it will bob on.
It blended.
Well, it blend. Yes, it will.
But Devin did an acoustic set, didn't he? And before,
oh my God,
before we got there, you were like, "Oh, do you think he'll play Love by Strapping Young Lad?" I was like, "Nah, there's no way he'll play that." Second song in,
Love,
and he like started out singing it. It was quite, I don't know, quite kind of eerie, wasn't it? The way he delivered it.
It was eerie and operatic.
But then he engaged the distortion, his vocal distortion, and it was like
it was incredible.
He's out of this world.
And then he played a cover of "Bring Him Home" from the Les Mis soundtrack. Of course.
Why not?
What else would you play?
What an eclectic mix. First two songs.
Yeah, he got some crowd interaction in there as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it was just a great show.
Brilliant show. What about Miles?
What an incredible voice that guy has.
And the guitar tone was fantastic as well.
Yep, he did do an annoying amount of guitar changes, though.
It was every song, wasn't it?
Every song, and I would understand if it was a different guitar for every song, but actually, it was his own PRS signature model.
And it's a very nice kit. I've tried one of those out before.
I think it was beautiful. 6 different colours. I
think it was, actually. There was even a custom gold one. I've not seen one of those before.
Ho, ho, ho. It's Jim Partial with the new Christmas sample.
Absolute madness.
But the drummer, oh my word.
He looked a little bit like the Penguin, but he was extremely good.
So good.
I can't remember which track it was. Is that one where they did that extended instrumental section?
Is it Behind the Veil?
It might have been.
Yeah, he did like a massive solo in the middle.
Yeah. And the drums were just beautiful sounding.
Proper serves the song kind of drummer, but he's got so much power. And like the tone of his kit as well, his fill placement, just proper top class, world class drummer.
World class.
And
a big surprise that was for me.
I've not enjoyed watching a drummer that much for quite some time. It was like,
Wow.
yeah,
High praise.
high praise,
High praise
very,
indeed.
very good drummer.
Yeah, overall it was an amazing show. I'm really glad.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that we went, dude.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
We had a nice little place by the sound desk as well, didn't we?
Did you notice that guy who like walked into the soundboard booth?
Yep.
Walked in and then immediately stood in front of me with his camera.
I found that was hilarious.
And he turned round, looked to see that I was there, then proceeded to carry on with his
Yeah.
flipping massive head in front of me.
What I enjoyed about that sound desk area was there was 3 people actually doing work. Well, I say 3 people. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. And then there was about 14 more people that were just there to get a better spot
Yep.
to see the band.
I don't think that Miles... I don't think he knew about that. I don't think he signed off on
I
that.
don't think it was sanctioned at all. And all of those people behind there should be ashamed of themselves. So we have some very special bonus footage that we're going to release at the end of the episode of our recent trip to the zoo.
Indeed.
Which zoo was it, Danny? I've forgotten already.
Yorkshire.
Oh, it's brilliant, wasn't it?
Yorkshire wildlife. Here's a little taster of what you're going to hear. What about that weird fox thing?
Oh, yeah, the
wasn't-
long-maned wolf.
Yes, exactly.
Wolf.
Wolf.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, it looked like a massive fox.
And the rest will be at the end. Enjoy.
Moving on. I like how you were handing out Pick and Lick's cards
Well, I put one just behind the edge of the sound desk, didn't I?
while we were standing there. So it was like uncomfortable. 'cause
Right,
it was like...
a picture of me and Danny's faces in animated form, right in front of us. I quite enjoyed it, to be honest. And then on the way out, I dumped a load on the merch desk as people queuing for that. So hopefully we've had a few listeners today. And if you are listening as a result of that, drop us a message. Let us know. Did you enjoy my Miles Kennedy vocal impressions?
Oh yeah, do you want to lean back from the mic and demonstrate?
Why do you say leave back for the mic?
Because it's very cutting.
I mean, you'll be better at it than I am, but... On this day, I see clearly. Oh God, Scott Stappish then. You need to engage the mids.
You could see everyone around you. Like, what's this guy doing?
If they didn't know what I was doing, they was at the wrong gig.
Yeah. Oh, dude, coffee chat.
I guess dreaming of that land with that coffee in that hand. Caffeine Wonderland.
Coffee chat. What have we got today, Danny? Because it's delicious.
It's by a company called Grind, I believe, and it's in a salmon pink packet.
Indeed.
And I think it's like a grade 10.
Grade 10.
What's it?
Sorry, Danny.
A 10 roast? I don't know.
A grade 10. I need to look at the packaging, really.
It's had number 10 on it. Level 10. Mode 10.
Any other description before the numbers 10?
I don't know what else I could put it.
I mean,
Floor 10.
That could be a darker roast.
It's a very dark roast, I think, anyway.
It could also be a grading, I suppose, with the quality of beans. Maybe it's been kind of a little bit more quality control on the... make sure they're all whole. There's no chipped beans. There's no damaged beans.
You know some stuff, don't you?
Well, like I said in previous episodes, I'm a coffee wanger now. Well, I'm fine with that. I drink better coffee than most people on this earth.
What have you been listening to?
Well, what have I been listening to?
Wow.
Oh, it's happening again. I can't help myself now. I've been listening to... I mean, you're not going to like this. Can you guess what I've been listening to? If you're not going to like it.
Saint Anger.
No, why would... I listened to Saint Anger for... as a joke, something to cheer me up, not as a piece of music. I really enjoy... You're not going to like it at all, but I really enjoy the self-titled album by Deftones.
No, I don't like them at all.
Is that all you can contribute to that section?
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it.
Have you listened to that album?
I like the drummer, Abe Cunningham.
Yeah, Abe. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very groovy drummer. And they've got, there's a few riffs that are like, ooh, it's something like The Butcher or something. One of those tracks.
Yeah, that's not off that album, though.
No.
Have you heard that? You must have heard Minerva, because that was...
Yeah. It just doesn't do anything for me at all.
No, I know,
it
doesn't.
It's not melodically or harmonically challenging enough for me.
I think it is very challenging.
Well, because he's singing microtonal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. What's it called? Microtonal?
Yeah, it's the notes between the western scale.
That's what I like to classify my singing as. Microtonal.
I'm microtonal.
I am hitting the notes, but not the regular notes we know today. Ho, ho, ho. It's Paul McCartney here. And here's another Christmas jingle. Merry Christmas.
Done microtonal haze.
Well, you'd be calling Chino microtoner, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Is that all you've been listening to? Throw something else in the mix.
No, because it's all the same. I say it every episode, I suppose.
My boy.
Alice in Chains.
Coheed.
Coheed.
Yeah, Alice in Chains. You've been on that train.
Coheed's got a new song.
I like it. It's really good.
It's back to form, I would say.
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
It's got a bit more prog in it than some recent stuff.
Yep.
Really enjoyable. What about you? What have you been listening to?
I have been listening to The Deer Hunter pretty much on loop.
We can't keep saying the same stuff, Danny. We need to be a bit more interesting than this.
Well, those last two albums of the Axe, Rebirth and Reprise, and Hymns with the Devil, Confessional. Both amazing albums. I've been listening to those two. I've been listening to a lot of Miles Kennedy because of...
Yeah, I did as well in the run-up.
Yeah, all three of these solo albums. What else? I've been listening to some of the Soul Revival.
Yes. Great band.
What about Christmas songs? Have you been listening to any Christmas songs?
I tend to hate Christmas songs, Danny.
Oh.
Sorry, it's a Christmas episode, I know, but...
Have you got a favourite Christmas song, though?
It's a hard one, isn't that? I probably like... What's that one in Home Alone, Danny? Bow, bow, bow.
Bow, bow, bow.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, where I work, Daddy, I have to listen to Christmas songs literally non-stop from the very start of December, so I don't find a lot of time to find joy in them. What about you? Have you got a fresh favourite Christmas song?
Well, I like the classics. I like the Slade and Wizard. I think they're two brilliant ones. Queen did one ages ago as well. I think it's called Thank God It's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
But it's more to do with, it's Queen, so... Probably a new Christmas song though, which
a new one.
A new one, yeah. It was out last year, I think, by Sam Ryder. I mean, I really like Sam Ryder's voice is amazing.
What's the song?
He'd be a really good dream vocalist, actually.
Oh,
he was unbelievable. Yeah,
is he that good?
It's called Your Christmas to Me. It's a really good track, and it's I can't remember if we'll have to fact check. But
we don't normally do that at the minute, Danny.
Yeah, we'll have to fact check.
We've just been lying and making stuff up as we go, like the last few episodes.
I know that he did a song and Brian May played a guitar solo on it, but I can't remember if it's that track or not.
We used to cover the Darkness Christmas song, didn't we, in Chung for Christmas shows?
I was going to say For Whom the Bell Tolls. It's not that.
That'd be quite a cool cover, though.
Yeah.
That'd be quite a cool cover, but no, it was Don't Let the Bells End, wasn't it? We used to play that. We played it at the Salutation, I think, didn't we, for the Christmas show one year? Yeah. That was always a fun track to play.
Yeah, it was a fun track to play, especially like the dual guitar harmonies, and Martin really pulled off all that kind of head voice kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't know if he'd actually like me saying that, because I don't think he's a Darkness fan.
Is he not? That surprises me, actually.
I don't think he is, but...
Justin Hawkins does a YouTube channel. Have you seen him on that?
Yeah, he's dead good.
I love him on that. He's a great character.
He's a light entertainer.
He's a very light entertainer. I support that. Well, I think we should maybe talk about Christmas films.
Christmas films.
I know, because it leads on to the kind of guests that we've got on as well, doesn't it?
Oh, yes,
not just music related, but film related too.
Yep.
So my first question is: Die Hard a Christmas film?
I associate it with Christmas.
Me too.
Because of, it's heavily Christmas
themed. Ho, ho, ho!
But Bruce Willis did say it's not a Christmas film, so, I mean...
The Grinch. Grinch is one of my favourite Christmas films.
I like the cartoon one.
I like the real one. I like the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah, it's good, but I like the cartoon one more now.
Elf.
Elf is just a classic.
I went through a stage of watching those really rubbish, Netflix Christmas films.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Heather likes watching all them ones.
The girly ones. I went through those years, didn't I? Went through those years.
Home Alone.
Classic.
It's got to be watched every year. I like 1 and 2, but then I stopped after that.
They're the only ones that exist to me.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that.
Donald Trump was in that second one, wasn't he?
He was.
Who would have thought that...
No one. Actually, literally no one.
And let's leave it there.
Anyway, so why are we talking about Christmas films, Eddie?
Because we've got a film guru.
Guru.
A guru. He's a film guru.
I thought he was going to use the word buff.
Film buff. Yeah.
Guru. I like Guru. It's better. Guru.
Yep. He runs straight to video,
He does indeed.
and he's been on the music scene for quite a while.
Since we were children.
Yes. And I mentioned this during the interview, but I remember watching this guy in the band he was in at the time when I was, I don't know, probably 15,
Same.
16.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. And they, you know, they had such a like profound effect on me from like a live music kind of thing. So
It's nice to get one of our little childhood heroes on,
yeah,
isn't it?
childhood
Really?
yeah, definitely. And he's just an awesome guy. Should we get started?
Let's go for it.
Should we introduce him now or should we just crack on?
It's Rob Lane.
Merry Christmas with Rob Lane.
Merry Christmas.
The Christmas
with Rob
edition.
Lane. Merry Christmas, Danny.
Merry Christmas.
Who do we have on the podcast today?
We've got a local music legend, Rob Lane.
Rob Lane, welcome.
I'll take local music legend. Yet to become nationwide or worldwide, but I'll take anything I can. I'll take local.
It's the same for all of us, mate. It's the same for all of us. How's it going, mate?
I'm good, mate. Thank you so much for inviting me.
We've already had a brief conversation, so we're kind of...
A brief conversation, a long conversation.
We're probably going to
We should have recorded
revisit some of the conversations we've already had.
So who is Rob Lane?
Who is Rob Lane? As in, what do I do?
What do you do?
Well, if we're talking music stuff, like just before we came in, we was talking about one of my early bands, Dip, which is probably where you guys first.
I mean, we were kids, weren't we,
saw
Danny?
me. Just young wee nippers.
Would have been like 16, 17 back in the day, watching Dip play.
Oh, mate, they were such an inspiring band for us lot coming up.
That means
seeing you guys on
a
stage.
lot. That means a lot.
And as a bass player, 'cause obviously
Yeah.
you are a bass player extraordinaire, you were one of my early local
man.
legends, kind of that I aspired to be.
No, that's really cool to hear because I joined Dip. We were talking about when you saw Dip, you was like, holy crap, these guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And I said, that's what I felt like when I saw Dip because I joined them later on.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I was blown away by them, but I knew the various members from bands before, almost in the same position when I first started getting into local bands, because they're all a little bit older than me. So I used to go to gigs in Ilkeston, all days and things. And I'd see these different bands, one called Warp Drive, which became Moonhead, or the other way around. This guy was singing and playing bass, and that was Daz, who went on to sing and play guitar.
Oh, he was playing bass before.
Yeah, I was
okay.
like, who is this guy? This guy is freaking cool.
Yeah, he is very cool. Isn't he?
And I saw him walking around school at college. Oh, that's that dude from that band. And then saw him playing in Dip. And I just love the whole concept of it. The logo, the artwork.
Yeah.
The songs were batshit crazy.
Yep.
So when their bass player left, I was like, I'll help you out. And I was there for like 10, 15, 20 years or whatever it was. Long time.
Trying to remember the name of the festival that I saw you at.
Is it Park Hall Live?
That one. That's the festival.
We used to
yeah.
love doing that. It's good. Camping out and everything.
Camping out, yeah.
Beach balls. Dip beach balls.
Yeah. I don't know. Did I saw this play it one year? I can't remember. I don't know if we
You
did
must
that.
have done.
It would have been
done.
pre.
It would have been pre-you.
Yeah, it would have been Jay who was playing with you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's a while ago now.
A long time ago. Early remnants of our memory
Good days,
there.
but Dip never split up, so never say never. We just stopped doing gigs.
Well, yeah, I mean, the return is always possible, isn't
It's
it?
always there. It's always there.
I hope it is.
If Twin Peaks can come back,
There you
Dip
go. Oh, yeah,
can
you're
come
talking
back.
my language now, mate.
So outside of music, outside of Dip, what else have you done? So
Dip was a real, lesson for me, in stage presence and all that kind of stuff. Because, once I joined them, I was like, I've got to up my game here.
Yeah.
I remember just, the rehearsals, I was, exhausted, which was cool. And then after that, I got an audition with a band called Anti-Product. I don't know if you remember that name. They were, one of the really awesome bands on, the underground rock scene at the time. And that, again, that kind of... I didn't get the gig, but I always say that audition changed my life. I thought, I really want to do this. So, then I joined a band called Teenage Casket Company, played all over the UK, went to America a couple of times, did Europe, released a few CDs, and then I became a hired gun for American rock bands coming over.
Yeah.
So bands like the Bullet Boys, who I was a fan of,
Yeah.
they came over. I was played on their first UK European tour in over 20 years. So I did that, played with Ryan Roxy from Alice Cooper, Johnny Monaco from Enough's Enough, a band called the Black Mollies. Did we ever do
I
a gig
remember.
together?
Yeah, we played.
Probably Ilkeston Town
Three
Football Club or
Horseshoes.
something like that. Oh, yeah, Three Horseshoes. Yeah.
Three Horseshoes, classic.
Which got named the Three Horses Hose, I think it was.
Horses O's.
So yeah, and then right up to present day, I'm playing in Let Loose now. I don't know if you guys remember Let Loose, a band from the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
They had like a number 2 smash hit 30 years ago. Only kept off the number 1 spot by Wet, Wet, Wet and Love Is All Around.
That was like
It was
number
that
one for about
summer, yeah.
20 years, wasn't it? Number 1 for or something. So
I got to know the singer from them back in 2007. We did some stuff together.
Oh, that's well cool.
Then that split up. Then the band have reformed without the said singer. And I messaged them, said, if you need a bass player for these reunion gigs, let me know. So, yeah, Let Loose are back.
That's awesome, dude. So have you got any gigs coming up?
We're doing the Butlins circuit at the moment.
Yeah?
Which is a lot of fun. We did the Bag 2 Festival in Thoresby Park in Nottingham a couple of weeks ago with Rednecks.
Yep.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, my God.
Which was a lot of fun.
This is amazing.
Pat Sharp was there as well.
Pat
the DJ
Sharp.
Pat Sharp, yeah.
Fun house.
There you go. You know your stuff, man. And so we're just doing Butlins stuff at the moment, which is a lot of fun. We played with 911 last week. Got a gig coming up in a couple of weeks with Eternal. It's just a lot of
This
fun.
is crazy.
Yeah. So as you can
seems like
tell,
living the dream.
as you can tell, my music tastes. I was a Let Loose fan back in the day. So anything with a good pop hook, I'm on board. So I'll play with anybody.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds amazing, dude.
We're huge Michael Bolton fans, so...
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
yeah.
If it's got a good melody...
If you want to go down that route, we can talk about that all day long.
We love the Bolton, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
We need to see if he's touring soon. He must be, because he's got his new album.
Well, he's got the
hasn't
new
he?
album out, but he had some sort of surgery, didn't he?
Yeah, it's fine now. It's fine.
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so
He's not
whether
dead.
or not he's over that...
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. We'll go and see him.
I've seen him a couple of times. He's
You
amazing
really?
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing live.
Yeah, we
I mean,
saw him, didn't we? Where was it? Where did we go?
We went to Wolverhampton.
Oh, yeah.
So my question to anybody who mentions Michael Bolton is, have you heard his first couple of albums?
Well, the hair, they're kind of...
Yeah, Everybody's Crazy in the self-title.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just like-
Did you know that he tried out for Black Sabbath?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he tried out for Black Sabbath, but didn't get the job.
What, like after Dio or...
I don't know. We got asked that last
Pre-Dio?
time.
Yeah, we didn't find out, did we?
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that early... I love all his stuff, but yeah, that early stuff is like 80s Kiss. It's brilliant. It's amazing.
The cheesy, they're better for me. And there's got to be a key change in there.
There's always a key change.
There's always a key change.
One of his songs, it modulates about 4 times in the same...
Yeah, what was it? I can't remember which one
I
it
can't remember
was.
which song it is, but you don't even notice because the songwriting's that good. You don't notice that it's changing key all the time. It's mad. And he's had some of the... speaking from like guitar perspective, he's had some of the best guitar players in the world played with him. Ridiculous.
You're listening to the Michael Bolton episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably enough, Michael Bolton.
Yeah, that's probably enough, Michael Bolton.
For this episode, at least. We'll talk about him next time. So, what else are you doing, Rob? So you've got a podcast, haven't you?
I've got a podcast, much like yourselves. Like everybody did, I started it during lockdown. My excuse was that was just the time which, well, like lockdown was for a lot of people. It gave them time to do stuff which they put off for such a long time. You had that time to focus on stuff. And as I was saying before we went on air, I'm not technically minded at all, so I needed time to really focus on what I needed to set up a podcast. And I did interview my podcasts like this one. It's interview based, and I'd done a music fanzine in, when was it? In the mid-90s, I started a local music fanzine there. I did one called Trash Pit in the early 2000s.
Oh, Trash Pit.
Interviewing
Yeah,
bands.
Trash Pit.
So yeah, that kind of wet my feet, if you like. And after a while, I started to miss it. So a podcast seemed like the next logical step, really. And I think it was great. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it did my confidence good. I can tell. I think my confidence took a hit a few years ago, and then doing the podcast, it kind of helped bring it back a little bit.
Oh, good.
Absolutely, I feel exactly the same.
yeah.
It's given me a real boost to myself.
You're early in your episodes. I know you're well ahead on the planning of them, but what's going to be interesting is when you start listening back to them older ones, because I've got like a preview episode on mine. They always say, you should do a preview episode. I can't listen to it. It's horrible.
Really?
I'm going to leave it up there, but I can't listen to it.
Oh, yeah. The first ones might be a bit rough, but I think they were right so far.
That's the sign of progression,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's the that's the cool thing.
That's where you were, I suppose. It's
Yeah.
good to see where you kind of come.
Yeah,
So.
and it's not just like, obviously you get better at editing and the format of your show, but you can just hear it in your voice, your projection, and like I say, the confidence in your voice, which is good.
So what's your podcast called, Rob?
It's called Straight to Video.
What's it about?
See, this is where I'm going wrong. You guys are focused. You've got a format. Other than mine being an interview podcast, that's about as focused as it gets. Straight to Video began over 10 years ago was like a musical project doing movie cover songs, which Danny's been part of. We did a cover of Good Times from Lost Boys, the Jimmy Barnes in Excess song.
Yep.
So yeah, it started as a music project, then it became the podcast, and now it's grown into an actual video shop. We've got an actual straight-to-video 80s video shop in Alfreton, Derbyshire, which is probably the maddest idea I've ever done with my friend Chris. We went away for a holiday a couple of years ago. He was running a shop. He said, I want to do something in the storage space above my shop. I'm like, want to make a video shop? A video shop that doesn't rent tapes, that doesn't sell tapes, it's just there, which is the worst business decision ever.
What does it do then?
It's a video shop museum. That's the easiest.
I keep meaning to come down, actually. It looks wicked in the...
I've
seen it on Instagram.
I mean, you're old enough
pictures.
to remember Blockbusters and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we had a little lady that had a van. Who used to drive around the estate.
What year was that?
I was a kid, so I must have been like 9 or 10 or something.
So what
like
years would that be?
1990.
See, that is late for the video van. That is very... Like, a video van is like early to mid-80s.
Was it?
Yeah, so to say that was still going in like the turn
it's
of
from
the
the suburbs of
decade.
Ilkeston.
That's amazing.
But yeah, she used to come around and used to open the back doors of the van, and they'd be like just wall-to-wall videos in there. And there was 2 women that drove it around, and then we'd pick one, and then...
Oh, man, to see something like that would be just gold. I mean, how did they keep the videos on the wall? I mean, there must have been like...
I don't even know.
Bit of elastic or something like that.
Just drove really slowly.
But when that van came around, I loved it. 'Cause, like, we'd get to pick one every now and again.
What was the gold which you picked up?
Well, I used to always like, because I was probably too young, but I used to love the look of all the horror film like video cases. They're the ones that I wanted. What
a time! If that was like around 1990-ish, that'd have been a good time for a wall of horror films, I think.
Yeah, it was they're the ones that drew my eye anyway. All the vampire ones and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think I was ever really allowed them. But
I bet you've watched them all now.
Oh, of course I have. I'm a massive horror fan.
There you go. Get you sent to the 80s video shop in Alfreton, Derbyshire.
We'll have a podcast trip.
Oh yeah, we'll do a little few videos there, won't we? So do an excursion.
The podcast has been going since summer 2020. I think it's just hit 300 episodes. So
wow, that's amazing.
Congratulations, mate. It's brilliant.
Like ready to fall on the floor, and I thought, I'll pivot and take a left turn. Then all of a sudden, loads of interview requests, which I put out months ago, all of a sudden came in. I was like, well, I'm going to stick to this format at least for another few weeks.
Yeah,
another 300 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 300, but we'll see.
You've had some amazing guests on there.
It's been a lot of fun.
Have you got a favourite? Putting you on the spot here. Have you got a guest that was like, can't believe this person is coming on?
Get asked that a few times. Which is your favourite episode? I mean, it started off. I mean, like yourselves, you've been playing music for so long. You get to meet so many cool people. So when I started the podcast, I just reached out to people I knew, which gave me that initial base of 15, 20 guests. Then after that, you just kind of, I don't know, you've got your background of the podcast, so, this thing's legit, so you can reach out to other people and they know you're the real deal. So, I don't know, I have 2 go-tos, which I say, if you want to listen to a good conversation, one is Matt Willis from Busted, which I was super excited to get.
Yeah,
because I'm a big fan of him. I just like his persona, his personality. I'd heard him talk about bass. He's very humble and he's got a lot of humility. He's like, he talks about stuff where I still have to have a bass teacher to show me stuff and all this kind of thing. I'm like, fair play to you, dude, to like be honest about that. Because he always says like, James and Charlie in the band, they could pick up any instrument and figure it out, whereas he's like, I just want to be in a band, I just want to rock, which is basically me, to be honest.
He's got a great voice on him, though, hasn't he?
He has got a brilliant voice. He's a fantastic voice.
You remember that solo album that he put out?
It's
The first one, it's really good.
It's really good. I mean, I know he was going through a lot of troubles during that album, but it holds up.
Yeah.
It's great. And that conversation was everything I wanted it to be. It was just fun and likeable. And the other one, which I tell people to listen to, is with a guy called Wednesday 13. He was in the Murder Dolls.
Yeah.
And that was one of the weird ones because I always like to have my questions typed out. One question flows into the next question because I'm not really very good at conversation. And for a guy who does an interview podcast. But I like to be rigid with the format. And he just took kind of like the first question, just ran with it, and I hardly asked any of the other questions. It just flowed really well.
Oh, amazing.
And it became like almost like a perfect straight-to-video podcast because it was with a guy with a music background.
Yeah.
But it was talking all about films and all this kind of thing. So that one turned out really, really good. And I've got one coming up next week, which is a tick off the wish list. So,
well, we'll have to
keep an eye on that one.
Get everyone to tune in.
Have you got a worst episode?
I've not got a worst.
You might not want to
episode,
reveal the worst
no.
guest, but
No, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I've had a few awkward ones.
yeah.
Anytime like the Zoom, because I do a lot of it on Zoom, a lot of the guys are from America, or guys or girls are from America, and you sometimes get a really dodgy Zoom connection, and that puts you on the back foot straight away.
Yeah.
It's not quite as natural, is it,
No.
with the back and forth?
And you can
so-
usually figure it out in edits and things like that. So they're always a problem. And then I've had a few where, because my podcast is, I'm very nostalgia based. I love anything 80s, early 90s, because that's when they're your my formative years. Anytime you're like 16, 17, really
Yeah.
getting into music, they're the things you remember. So I always want to talk about that. And I've had a few guests where they're just not interested in it. They want to pitch their current project. So it's a bit of a catch-22 sometimes with getting regular guests. You can get a guest because they're on the press run, so they want to talk about the new album or the new film. But that's specifically
it.
what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
Anytime you dive back into the past, sometimes they're not that interested. So like, oh, this is going nowhere.
Worth a try, isn't it? But
Yeah.
if you...
I think it's like the magic era for films, 90s. Personally, a lot of my favourite films are from the 90s
I'd be interested
era.
to hear some of your favourite films.
What do you
in
think?
that.
What do you think Danny's favourite film is from the early 90s? It is early 90s, isn't
I've
it?
got to say,
It is-
because
it is
the
early
90s are
90s.
a weird decade. Once you got into the mid-90s, things start to go a little bit strange.
So just to reveal it.
Reveal it.
My favourite film from that era is Point Break.
Oh, my God. You picked a good one, mate.
I love that film
You
so
see, Point
much.
Break came out in 92, was it 92?
I think it was
it was
around
very-
then.
Yeah, me and my buddy Chris, we call it the last great film of the 80s, even though it came out in 1992.
It's pure. It's just 80s in style,
It's
isn't it?
brilliant film and it holds up.
Yeah, it's great script, great soundtrack. It's just amazing.
Great, really
it's
good
just really
soundtrack.
cool. I
It's
mean,
a
the
really
acting
mixed
is made.
soundtrack, actually.
Yeah.
Sheryl Crow's on there, I think.
Yeah,
Early
I remember
Sheryl Crow.
Hendrix being on it as well.
And LA Guns are on there. I think
Yeah.
LA Guns have got a couple of songs on there.
But then anything that, I mean, Keanu Reeves, I don't think he's the greatest actor in the world, but I just love the guy. I think he's
Oh, he's
amazing.
brilliant, yeah.
And then Patrick Swayze,
Paddy
I
Swazza.
love everything he's been in. Mm-hmm. So,
And Laurie Petty's in it, isn't she? Tank Girl?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
She's great in it. Gary
And
Busey.
Gary
he
Busey.
Sorry.
there's a couple of films
Speaks
where
for that.
Gary Busey is just crazy enough. Point Break's one of them. And there's another film called Silver Bullet from a few years before. Yeah, it's just mad enough in
okay.
it. Like, Utah, get me two.
Yeah, can they do?
I love it.
Good
Well, the
choice.
chili's in there as well, aren't
Red
they?
Hot, yeah.
Chili peppers.
Yeah. Brilliant,
Yeah.
man.
Have you got a favourite
Yeah,
90s
you got,
film?
what's yours?
I went through, I don't know if it's 90s or not, but Black Rain. You know, these kind of like noir.
Is that Michael Douglas?
Yeah, Douglas.
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually seen it, but
Yeah, kind of like
Interesting
neo-noir kind of,
choice.
yeah. These kind of, I like these kind of like,
yeah.
the soundtrack's like proper like...
Or is that like some kind of like John Grisham kind of film? Or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Yeah, quite
I'll
like
have
that
to
kind
check
of stuff.
that out.
But I like all the 80s horrors, really.
Oh, mate, good old podcast on that.
Yeah, what did I watch? There's like a mall, or what was it? Like little robots that went on a killing spree in a mall.
Oh, Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall is surprisingly good.
It's incredible. They're
it's-
incredible. Like,
The artwork sells it totally different, though. It's
oh,
like
yeah.
the carrier bag with all like body parts in it, which
It's
I guess
nothing
is
like that.
right, but you're expecting a proper slasher, but then it's like robots in a
Yeah.
shopping mall. Yeah, good
Oh,
choice.
no, I have-
I went through a stage of the cannibal films from the 80s as well, so like Cannibal Holocaust and all that. Do you remember Cannibal
I
Holocaust?
think we've watched a lot of these films together, haven't we?
yeah, we've watched them all together, haven't we?
Toxic Avenger.
Toxic Avenger, yeah.
Yeah. They've
Yeah.
canned the late. Was it Toxic Avenger?
Yeah, we're a bit
Canva.
gutted. We were trying to get hold of it, but
It's not really. It's not
never
been
gonna
released.
see the light of day.
No, it doesn't look like that way, does it?
Wow.
nobody wants to.
No one wants to release it.
Shame, really.
And it's got some.
It's got some big names
Some
in
big
it.
names
in
it, yeah.
Kevin Bacon's in it and Peter Dinklage is in it. Gone.
And Elijah
On the
Wood's in
shelf.
it as well, I
Is
think.
he?
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
in
I
it.
believe so. Yeah, yeah.
That is nuts.
What a shame.
It's like Batgirl, isn't it? That one's just been shelved.
Has it?
Yeah, that got shelved a few years ago.
Well, they probably should have
just
put
a big,
that out.
just a big tax write-off.
What a waste, though.
Yeah.
rather than the new Batman. Ugh,
Yeah, I wasn't
I'm not.
a fan.
I'm
What
not
are
a
your
fan.
thoughts on
superhero films.
No, I'm on the new Batman. Have you watched the new Batman?
Oh, what's his name?
Robin.
I thought it was
Robert
all right.
Pattinson.
It was. I had to keep reminding myself what is this film about every 20 minutes because the plot was very loose.
Very loose, yeah.
And there was no like big battle at the end or anything like that. It just kind of
Fizzled out.
yeah.
No, I agree. I'm not
Yeah,
really.
don't get me ranting about modern films, mate. We'll be here all night.
Do it. We'll let you have one rant. Go on one rant about modern films, Rob.
Beverly Hills Cop 4, terrible.
Oh, I've not watched that. Would you say
Sounds
avoid
like
it?
you shouldn't.
Well, it's weird because I keep speaking about my mate Chris, who we do the video shop with, because he's the guy I spend most time with. Me and him agreed it was terrible, whereas everybody else loved it. So we're definitely in the minority, but me and Chris absolutely adore Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2.
Oh, they're great films.
Quote it all the time, and we'll just start laughing for no reason. And yeah, this one just fell flat. See, I didn't like that, but I like Roadhouse, the Roadhouse remake,
I've not watched it.
which I thought was great.
It was kind of...
And everyone
yeah.
slagged it
I
off.
like the original Roadhouse. I've not
Original
seen it.
Roadhouse is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's got Conor McGregor, hasn't it?
Yeah. He plays like a really cartoon version of himself, which I was fine with.
Yeah.
He was the
Connor.
bit, yeah, that was the bit that everyone disliked, but I was like, I was fine with that.
I don't want it... Yeah, I like the original too much.
It's a great, that's
Yeah.
a great film.
With is it Wade? Wade? The older dude with like grey
Sam
hair.
Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Oh, what a legend!
What
Man.
an absolute badass. And then Jeff Healey. The Jeff
Yeah,
Healey
yeah,
band's
yeah.
playing, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. Whatever it is.
Managed to see him in Nottingham.
Did you?
Where was he playing in Nottingham?
Rescue
Roxy?
Rooms.
Oh, Rescue Rooms.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
It was incredible.
Oh,
Absolutely magic.
Well, while we're on films, this is our Christmas episode, so we've got some
Merry Christmas, guys. We're Christmas
Yeah.
jumpered.
Christmas jumper.
Where's your Christmas? You had a Christmas jumper on, I bet.
I've removed it because I get quite hot.
Oh, that was just for the photo shoot,
Just
was
for
it?
photo, yeah.
Just put the hat on.
Where is it? There you go. For the listeners, I am donning a hat. There you go.
Brilliant.
There you go.
It fits very
Cheers,
well.
It fits terribly. So, Rob, what is your favourite Christmas film?
Wow. Well, if I had to pick a specific Christmas film, I do like Scrooged, Bill Murray's Scrooged.
Oh, yeah.
That's a favourite, I think. We can get into the whole is Die Hard a Christmas
Oh,
film?
yeah.
debate?
Is that already on the list?
Is that
of
on the
questions?
list, is it?
So is Die Hard a Christmas film?
I'm going to say 110% Christmas film.
I was ready to argue if you said no. So
Well, I just find it a weird argument, as in, why don't people think it's not a Christmas film? Other than if you want to get into facts, it was released in the summer.
that doesn't
Other
matter.
than that, I
Oh,
don't-
it was released in the summer. Okay.
yeah. That seems to be the only argument that I can almost...
Because it's clearly a Christmas film.
There's so many elements
It's
of
like
that
Christmas,
film
yeah.
that are Christmas and important to the plot. So why can't it? Because it's an action film? I don't know.
Bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
People seem to argue it every year, though, don't they? You see it somewhere on
It's very
social media every
strange.
year going, Die Hard's not a Christmas film. It is.
I think it's a Christmas film.
No, I do love Scrooged, but I do have a specific Christmas memory when it comes to films, which I always thought was really cool. Whereas I got on really well with one of my uncles, and we're both big film fans. And during the 80s, kind of his Christmas present to me was he says, Rob, guess what we're going to do at Christmas? Guess what we're going to do at Christmas? This must have been, it had to have been Christmas 1985. He says, in 3 films, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Last Starfighter, I've got pirate copies of them. We're going to watch them all over Christmas. That was just such a big deal to me. It was brilliant. They must have only just come out on video at that point. Because all those films are 40 years old this year, which is crazy to me.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. He did pirate copies of those. Probably what are 3 of my favourite all-time films to this day. Ghostbusters never gets old. Gremlins is a perfect film. Another great Christmas film that came out. Well, it came out in the summer in America. It probably came out around Christmas over here. And a film called Last Starfighter. I don't know if you two are familiar
No,
with
you
that.
said that.
I've heard of it.
Heard of it.
But I've not watched it.
Fantastic film. Yeah, please everybody add Last Starfighter to your list because it's an amazing film.
Last Starfire.
There's the one for your list.
We'll find it.
Yeah. So they'll always be considered Christmas films to me.
What about Christmas songs?
That is a tough one. I don't know. I'll ask you guys yours first. I'll throw it back at you.
Ooh.
I like the Darkness one.
See, that's never
Because it's-
sat with me, that one.
Don't let the bells end.
No. The Darkness are very Marmite band, aren't they? It's,
Yeah. I quite like the first couple of albums, and then after that
Yeah.
I've kind of lost interest. But
That's the one we
Yeah.
used to cover, that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like Christmas gigs.
That's become a staple, though, hasn't it? So fair play to them.
But I mean,
it's hard to break into that playlist, isn't it? I suppose at Christmas.
But Slade and Wizard, I mean, those two will always be classics.
So
won't
probably
they?
Slade is the one that you instantly think it's Christmas.
I'm always still a sucker for the original Band-Aid. There's something magical about that. I don't know. And they've tried. I love the fact that they've tried to redo it on how many occasions now? 3 times since then. I'm going to say 3 remakes of it.
Worse every time.
And everyone's. I don't know. The second one was pretty dubious, but that was a cool deal for me. Because when would that be? Band-Aid 2 must have been 1987. I'm going to say 1987, 1988.
Who was in that one?
It was like Jason Donovan, Bros, Kylie Minogue. I think Technotronic were on it.
Oh my God!
So pull that bad boy up on YouTube. And I'm pretty sure they've done it twice since.
Yeah, that
I know
sounds
Robbie
about right.
Williams has been on one, and Chris Martin's been on one.
Oh God!
Yeah.
And you kind of listen to the more recent ones when they come out. It's like, oh, this ain't bad. This one might stand the test of time, but it never does.
On comparison,
it never does.
holds up, does it?
There's some real magic on that first one, so I think I'm going to go with that one. I'll probably get shot for saying it, but
I mean, we're
do
not going
like
to shoot you. Our listeners might. What about worst Christmas song? Which one do you hate every time it comes on?
The Darkness one.
Yeah, I
the
can't
George
really pick
Michael
one. I'm
one,
not
isn't it?
I try not to be a negative person on that one, but yeah, that one's never really sat with
Yeah.
me. But I know people absolutely love it. So
I think it's fun. I'm in that camp.
I think it's great that they got away with saying Bell End.
That was his intention, wasn't it?
that's pretty genius.
It is genius.
Fair play
isn't it?
to
Yeah.
Justin for that one.
Yeah, I just want to get Bell End in a Christmas song.
'Cause it's so English as well.
It is,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's so
Makes no
English.
sense to Americans, does it?
I mean, do you like the George Michael one?
What, as in Last Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I think I've just heard it too much. It's like ruined it for me.
Well, yeah.
Oh, God,
A lot of
here it is
Christmases.
again.
Yeah.
I think if you gave me a list of Christmas songs, I'd be like, yeah, they're all fine, but picking them on the spot is not very good.
How are you going to be spending Christmas?
I have no idea. And I can see your list about what's the worst thing about Christmas, and is that on your list, or is that the worst Christmas song?
That's the worst. Oh, the worst part of Christmas is on there.
Worst part of
Yeah.
Christmas,
Worst part of
yeah.
Christmas.
I think the worst part of Christmas is never knowing what I'm going to do at Christmas. Which sounds really...
It's only you that can sort that out.
I know, but I always feel like, am I going to spend it... My wife, she always likes to spend it with her dad and her family and stuff like that, and I always feel like conflicted, like, where do I go? Where do I go at Christmas? I never know. So my brother, he's got kids now and stuff like that, so yeah. I feel lonely at Christmas, guys. I'll put it out there.
You're welcome around here. Come around here for Christmas dinner.
There you go. You got an invite.
There you go. Yeah, I might be careful. People do that. I take them up on it.
You will have to record another podcast probably though.
We'll be watching Die Hard and Gremlins.
And last
Starfighter.
Last Starfighter. What's in Christmas dinner, Rob?
I do like traditional Christmas dinners.
Yeah. Classic.
I have been lucky enough. My dad lives in America, so for a while I used to do like a Christmas over here and a Christmas over there. Their Christmas dinners are freaking weird. They don't do them like we do.
What's the weird?
It's almost like buffet kind of style.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is I always find a little bit odd. So yeah, and I miss Christmases. When I was growing up, I used to have a Christmas day with my mum. Then on Boxing Day, I always used to go to my grandparents, and they used to be like the full on spread. And I miss that now because they're no longer with us. So I'm really bringing this Christmas episode.
It's nice to remember, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fun memories, aren't
Yeah, I miss Christmas with the grandparents.
Yeah, we used to have one at home, and then we used to go around like the grandmas and all that.
Yeah.
And they used to. My great granddad, he was like a baker, so he had loads of like homemade mince pies. And we used to go away with like a tray of like.
I guess he'd have all like the leftovers, wouldn't he, from like selling them before? Or it was like a baker by trade, or he just baking?
He was like a chef in the army, and then he just was a great baker. So we'd leave with this massive like tray of like Christmas cake, mince pies, baked tarts, all homemade.
Oh, amazing!
Every year it was the best bit of Christmas. That was.
Oh my god! Yeah, grandparents were great. My grandma, she could bake anything. Never had a recipe book or anything. Just threw it all in. It just came out perfect.
It always come out good. Was it the serving thing as well? It's like, have you got enough? Have you got enough? Just keep piling it on. That's
my
what my
granddad always
like.
used to give. I was like pretty spoiled because I was the first grandkid to come along. I've got like cousins and stuff, I was always the first one to come along. So I always used to get the first cut of the beef, like the crispy bit.
Yeah.
You always used to give me that. I was spoiled on that one.
Is it carver's privilege?
Favourite grandson.
Should we start the actual...
Yeah, should we start the actual podcast?
We'll be like 2 hours in.
You haven't got anything planned, have you, Rob?
It's fine, mate. I'm all yours. This will probably go quick, though, once I start revealing people. Be like, who? And that's it.
Well, we'll
Move on
have
to the
plenty
next one.
of questions, Rob.
Yeah,
so if we don't know who they are, we'll be interrogating you almost for them.
Alrighty.
Firstly, though, what are you going to be in your dream band?
Christmas time, mistletoe and wine.
I thought about this, and I'm a bass player, as you know, but no way I could be bass tech because I don't know enough about fixing amps or anything like that. I think I could be a pretty good tour manager. I think I'd take that role on.
You have to be in the band, Rob.
You've got to play an instrument in the band.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was listening to your Rich Shaw episode. He chose merch guy.
No, we made him go on guitar.
He backed down.
He backed down. So I'm afraid you can't be a tour manager. You're in the band.
Well, I want the person I picked for bass. I want to see him play bass. So I'll just do like backing vocals or something like that. Can I do that?
Do we allow that, Daddy?
Well,
It's his dream
bass
band.
player.
Yeah, go on then.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Your wish is granted.
Your wish is granted. Okay. So, are you a good backing vocalist, Rob?
Probably not, no. But if I've got to be in the band,
You've got to be in the band.
As most bands are now, we'll put it on track and I'll mime to it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Use the technology available.
We've got a couple of rules,
Time for the rules, better.
which
Okay.
I think were in the email. You can't have any current or past band members in this
Okay.
band that you're creating.
And you can't choose more than one member from the same
Right.
band.
Okay.
Are you clear?
I think I'm good.
We've had a couple of awkward moments, haven't we?
Yeah, no, they won't do it again.
We're going to start with your dream drummer. Who are you picking?
I'm going to say every person to pick from this band was hard for me. You think you'd have a few go-tos straight away. I'm like, no.
It's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got no idea what I'm going to pick.
I've not done it
eventually
yet.
do mine.
I think I'm going to curveball you on pretty much most of these.
Okay.
And I thought for drummer, it can't be anybody flash. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are probably going for like Taylor Hawkins and things like that. I mean, I saw Taylor Hawkins with Alanis Morissette in like 1995.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, this guy's going to be a star. You knew straight away. Like, I mean, he's a phenomenal drummer, but he's too flash for my band. Way too flash.
Too flash.
So I thought I needed a meat and potatoes guy. So I thought maybe Tico Torres from Bon Jovi would be a good one. I love his style. That'd be a good one. There's a guy called Steve West from a band called Danger Danger. Just freaking rock solid. And I thought, I'm going to pick a buddy of mine who I've never had a chance to play with.
Okay.
It's a guy called Matt Kirby from Italy. I don't know if you ever saw...
No.
I'm going back to the old days now. Patchwork Grace old days.
Oh, Patrick Grace, yeah.
And you remember a guy called Adam Bomb?
Adam Bomb, yeah.
Okay. Well, Matt used to go under the guise of Carmen Gorgeous. And he used to play drums for
I would have
Adam
seen him
Bomb.
then. I've seen Adam
Yeah.
Bomb before.
And I remember the first time seeing him, I'm like, who is that guy on drums? And he was just rock solid. Nothing really flashy in his playing, but he'd do all the stick spins. Just a joy to watch playing. Just the right kind of drummer. And I thought, who would be great in this project? I'd love to play with it. I will play with him one day, but I've kind of just skipped that.
Yeah.
I've not played with him, so I'm going to pick Matt. He plays in a band called Hi-Fi Stacy now, and check him out on YouTube. He's got a few like little drum bits which he does play along to. He's into exactly the same stuff as me, or like the late 80s, early 90s hair metal stuff.
You must have come close to playing with him at some point.
We've always spoke about it.
Have you?
We've
Yeah,
always talked about that we'd love to do a band together, but we've never had a chance to do it. So I'm getting it in now before we do it. So yeah.
There you go, yeah. He's in there.
So shout out to Matt. I think he'd be brilliant in this band.
But this might be the first band that gets created from the podcast.
It's one of Danny's dreams that
Yeah.
a band actually forms.
Once I reveal the others, there ain't no way it's going to happen.
Have you got a favourite piece of work by him then?
No, I just love his style of playing. Yeah, I like to watch people who make me smile.
Yeah, can't fault you on that. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a joy to watch playing. So yeah, check out his band Hi-Fi Stacy. But I'd love to see him go out on tour. I've had the chance, as I mentioned, I've had the chance to play with some And my favourite band's like American hard rock bands. And Matt is one of the guys I'd love to see out playing one of those bands, because I think he'd love it and he'd nail it.
Banging.
Excellent.
Okay, so next up is your dream rhythm guitarist.
Okay. This guy is one of the most talented dudes on the planet. It's a guy called Butch Walker.
Butch Walker. I don't know if I've heard of him.
Okay.
I heard of him.
Incredibly, I'm not doing him justice putting him on rhythm guitar.
Okay.
He could just do anything. Butch Walker, I became familiar with him in a band called South Gang. They were like one of the last hair bands of the day. They were like one of the last bands to get the big record deal before everything went to shit.
Before there were no record deals, really, not proper ones
before
anyway.
grunge really came along and just wiped out most of the hair metal scene. He was in a band called South Gang. They had a couple of albums, then split up. Then Butch came back with a band called The Marvelous Three, which when would it be? Probably the turn of the decade, 2000s, were like the perfect band for me. It was just power pop, but like these choruses are huge. And they were an amazing band. That he was like singer, guitarist for them. That's where we stole a lot of the pick flicks from, which I do, and all that kind of stuff.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, that was stole between Butch Walker and Ballin' for Soup. Now, Butch went on to work with Ballin' for Soup. He co-wrote Girl All the Bad Guys Want. Produced 1985. And he's become like this amazing producer. He's worked with Fall Out Boy, Avril Lavigne. Most recently did a Green Day album. The Green Day album that everybody hates, but he still did a Green Day album. Worked with Brian Fallon from the Gaslight Anthem. So he's like one of the most coolest guys in the music industry. You need to get him on your radar.
I'm surprised I've not heard of him.
You know what,
it's quite a CV, isn't it?
It's an incredible CV, man.
One of the best things about doing this podcast is hearing all these great people that have somehow gone under the radar that we've never heard of before.
Yeah, so I'm not doing him justice. There was one point where I thought, do I have Butch as the singer? Which would have been cool. But I thought, why not I'll put him on rhythm guitar because I think he'd love playing with the other guys in the band who I've picked.
Yeah.
Amazing songwriter, so he could write some killer songs for the band and he could produce them as well.
Perfect, really.
There you go.
It's a very handy guy to have, it seems.
He does look familiar.
Yeah?
Yeah, he does look familiar.
Yeah, you'll probably know him.
Danny's just Googling him.
Yeah, for the listeners, I was just
Give it a
Googling
Google.
him.
So yeah, Butch Walker on rhythm guitar, he'd probably say, what the hell are you putting me there for? But yeah, I think he'd be cool as rhythm guitar in this band.
Is he doing some backing vocals as well?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Wicked.
Perfect. Have you got any honourable mentions? Anyone that you nearly picked that you didn't
Rhythm
quite
guitar.
get
I haven't
there?
actually on rhythm guitar, I don't think. Let's think. No, I think I've got honourable mentions for the lead guitar, but
Not for rhythm. That's fine.
No.
Next one.
Okay.
Was expecting you to choose this one. Dream bass player.
Dream bass player.
Who's playing bass in the band?
There's no way I could do it against everybody else I've picked. I'd look all right, clown.
You really wouldn't.
Oh,
No,
man,
you
I tell you,
wouldn't
I
at
would.
all.
So again, tough choice. And the guy I've gone for, I think you'll have heard of this guy, Pat Badger from Extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Pat is
What a name? Pat Badger.
Brilliant name, isn't it? It's really, really
Pat
cool.
Badger.
Yeah.
Digging a burrow.
He's digging a burrow. He's a badger.
I don't think Pat gets the recognition he deserves because he's in a band with Nuno Betancourt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got to be good to keep up with him, hasn't he?
Exactly. And
That's the point. Yeah, he's got to be.
I mean, I started playing bass. When did I start playing bass? 1993. And bass is a weird... I mean, I don't know how you felt, Dan, about... Because I guess you was a music fan long before you was into bass.
Yeah, I kind of started playing like as soon as I was...
Really? Okay.
So, yeah, I was in a football team, and then we got too old for the 15 kind of time.
Yeah.
We had to play with the men, so we all quit basically and joined a band instead.
Okay.
So I literally picked a bass up and kind of.
But had you been listening to me? Was like a music fan?
Yeah,
yet?
I was watching like MTV2 and stuff like that. And
so reason I'm asking is how familiar was you with like the bass guitar? Was it just because when I first got into rock music, I just saw guitars. I didn't know the difference between a regular guitar and a bass guitar.
To be fair, I didn't really know. No, I didn't really know. I watched like Korn videos and stuff.
Okay.
And thought that field he looked cool.
He looks cool. I don't know what he's doing, but he looks cool.
I don't think he knows what he's doing half the time. So yeah, it looked cool, and they needed a bass player. So that literally that was it. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Because a lot of the records I listened to in like the late 80s, early 90s, the bass wasn't really in the forefront. I think later on you could really pick it out. But a lot of the albums I listened to, your ear almost had to be trained to listen to the bass. It kind of got lost in the mix a little bit. So for a long time, even though I was a massive music fan, I didn't understand what the bass did or anything like that. And then I think probably like through Extreme and bands like that. I mean, Get the Funk Out. Oh, that's what the bass does at the beginning of that.
Yeah.
So when I eventually got a bass, that was some of the first things I learned. The Get the Funk Out intro. They had a song called Tragic Comic on the third album, which I like this really cool bass intro. But even back then, I didn't realise how good Pat Badger was until I think it was way, way later. I always thought he was the coolest member of the band because I saw a video for Decadence Dance on the Hard and Heavy video cassettes. And he had the coolest long blonde hair. That guy's freaking like you were a fieldy and corn. That guy looks cool. That guy looks cool.
Yeah.
But years later, Extreme became our band. We saw them so many times over the years. But then they did a reunion tour. It's probably 10, 15 years ago now. And I went right down to the front and just really watching Pat play. And he just keeps up with Nuno all the time. He mimics a lot of his parts.
Yeah, he
He's
does,
playing
doesn't he?
exactly
Yeah.
the same stuff. So it's like, holy crap, man. And his voice as well. He's got an incredible voice.
So he's doing backing vocals as well.
Well, man, there's going to
Why
be
not?
harmonies for days in this band. Harmonies for days. But yeah, he is incredible. So he's became... like I say, I always thought he was cool, but in more recent years, he's
you've
become like...
appreciated him more.
Appreciated what he does much more.
Yeah.
He seems like a cool guy as well. I'd love to sit down and chat with him. Still
Yeah,
can't get him on the podcast.
You've not met him before then?
Only in the context of we used to wait backstage at Extreme gigs and we met him a few. Because Extreme used to be really cool at coming out and signing autographs back in the day. Which,
wicked.
Yeah, which blew my mind. They were the first like big band I met like that. Because we saw Extreme at the Royal Concert Hall in Nottingham. And as we were coming out, the tour bus was parked at the back and we were like, how old was we? 17 or something like that. Oh, shall we wait? We might get to see him. And in my head, the only time you ever seen bands coming out of a gig is when they just run straight past. Oh, we might see him.
Yeah, but that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I'd have been more than happy with that.
Yeah.
And we must have waited about 2 hours. I don't know how we got home that night. I have no idea. But they came out and like Gary Sharon, the singer, just walked out. For some reason, I was like right at the front of the queue and he just walked out and like stopped and shook my hand. It just blew my mind. Then they just hung out signing autographs. So the next tour, we were waiting. We went to see him at the NEC. Queue of people. Webb must have got round that they usually sign autographs because there's a bunch of people, probably like 30, 40 people.
Yeah.
Waited again for about 2 hours. The tour manager came out. Used to be a big guy called Bob Dallas. He's like, right, everybody, line up there. Got everybody to line up. Right, the band are going to go on the tour bus. We're going to open the back of the tour bus up. And you're going to walk on and get your autographs that way. So we had to actually go on the tour bus. They're all sat by the table at the back lounge, all signed everything. It blew my mind.
That makes a massive thing.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Oh my God, that
Yeah.
stuck with me for, 30 years. It's unreal, man.
Oh, that's good to hear, that is. Because I didn't know what Nuno would be like.
He was always cool.
Actually, yeah.
He was always cool.
Oh, that's
I
really
think
cool,
Nuno
though.
is a cool dude. I think
Yeah.
he can blow hot and cold, but perhaps only if you're a dick to him or
Yeah.
overstep your mark, which I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah, I imagine they do,
Yeah.
I remember waiting outside Rock City for bands to come out. It's a mixed response back in
Yeah.
the day. Yeah, when I was like late teens.
It's nice when you meet your heroes and their sound, though.
Oh, it's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Makes you love the band even more.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
such a difference. Such a difference. Yeah, game changer, man.
What got you playing bass, Rob?
Meeting a guy in a band.
Was it?
Yeah. And it's an extreme connection as well. I've told this story many, many times, so apologies if anybody's heard it. But because of that, waiting for Extreme, we saw them at the, let me think when it was. This would be 1992 on the Three Sides to Every Story tour. Right, I'm going to wait for Extreme. They're coming out after. And they had a band called Hardline supporting them. Now, Hardline was this super group of Neil Schon from Journey, the guitarist. Yep. Then all these other cool guys, and these two brothers, Johnny and Joey Gioeli. And they opened for Extreme. And I'm watching it, I'm like, these guys are really freaking good. And I recognised the bass player. I thought, because he got like this weird... He played in kind of a strange style. He almost like put his bass on his thigh and just like rocked out. Like Steve Harris does where he's pointing the bass. This guy did a similar kind of thing. So I recognised that. And I realised I'd seen him play live in David Lee Roth's band earlier that year. So, I know who that guy is. So we waited for Extreme. Long story short, Hardline came out first. And, getting the autographs. This guy comes up, his name's Todd Jensen. I thought, I saw you with David Lee Roth. We're coming to see Extreme in Birmingham in a few days, because we used to go to as many gigs as we could. And like you inviting me for Christmas dinner, Todd says, come and say hi. Tell that to 17-year-old Rob Lane. Rob Lane's going to come and say hi at the next gig.
I'll be at your door.
Yeah. So we get to Birmingham at the next gig, and I walked straight to the stage door, banging on the door. Some I don't know, just some waker comes out. Oh yeah, Todd Jensen from Hardline said to come and say hello. You're like, oh, okay then. Shuts the door, wait here. 15 minutes later, he comes out and hangs out for like 20 minutes to me and my friend in the freezing cold, signs all our albums and stuff like that. And after that, I was playing guitar at the time, but because Todd Jensen played bass, right, I'm going to get a bass.
So that's what you got.
And that made me change onto bass guitar. And Todd went on to play for Alice Cooper. He obviously played for David Lee Roth. He played for Steve Perry of Journey.
Oh my God.
And now he's actually playing for Journey as well. And we've stayed in touch over the years, on and off.
That's really cool.
I kind of like to think I followed his blueprint a little bit, becoming like a hired gun for bands.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the reason I turned to bass. For a
little bit of
quick
inspiration.
15, 20-minute chat, somebody can change your life like that.
yeah.
And as weird as it has changed my life. It's very strange.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
What was that first bass that you bought?
It was a Kramer bass. I did pretty good for my first bass, but I got it from a second-hand shop at Hena, which is the town just up the road from me. Someone saw they're selling a bass, and it was a red Kramer. I think it was a Kramer Striker bass. I think I've still got it. Might be worth some money now. I think.
Probably you don't see them very often nowadays.
Yeah, Kramer bass.
Was it like a proper pointy headstock?
No,
jobby
it looked very precision looking. But it was like,
really?
Yeah, very precision looking bass, but it had like a sparkly red finish on the bass. I'll have to dig it out and take some pictures of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get them send them to us.
Yeah. And it came in a Fender hard case, which I sold to Craig from Dip. He had that off me. And it didn't have a handle on it.
Oh, God.
So I brought it and I had to walk it home under my arm. Literally, I had to walk it home like about 2 miles down the road under my arm.
That's a bit unbalanced for a bass,
I bought it for £80. And it had some Billy Sheehan strings in the packet in there.
Yeah.
I remember that. I wish I kept them actually. That'd have been quite cool.
It would be definitely worth more than £80.
I don't think I ever gigged with that bass. I got a precision bass from Zebra Music, the local shop.
Yeah.
To Orlos.
Is that your kind of style of bass, precision bass? Is that what you prefer?
It's not actually. I moved on to jazz bass in the early 2000s, and I've stuck with that all the way through. I just love them.
Is that just stick with a Fender jazz bass?
Fender jazz bass, yeah. I'd like to I've only got the one. I've said this a few times recently. I must have got it in around 2002. Brand new, so it's probably considered vintage now, like over 20 years old. Yeah. It's beat to crap. But I love it. I record with it and everything. So I think I need to get another one at some point. But yeah, my white, it's a Mexican jazz bass.
I remember it's just that one I would have seen.
Yeah, I see some early photos of it. It looks dead white.
Yeah,
now it's like off cream.
Is it yellowed slightly?
It's like an old Star Wars. It's like an old Star Wars stormtrooper. It's just yellow. From back in the day.
I think they look better when they age.
Yeah,
mine's
all the paint's cracked and everything.
The amount of gigs you played with that.
Yeah, done a lot, man.
Oh, amazing. Is it a 4-stringer?
Oh yeah. I've never gone to the 5-string. I remember I got thrown on stage. I'll drop a clang now, but I got thrown on stage at the Roxy in Los Angeles.
As you do.
As you do.
Never happened to me.
I met with the guys from the Bullet Boys over there, and there's a band called Slaughter playing. So, we're going to get up and do a Bullet Boys song at the end. Oh, fucking hell, I'll do that. That'd be awesome. And the bass player from Slaughter just put the bass over me. 5-string bass. Never played a 5-string before. I'm like, what note is the lowest one? I was trying to think. I was trying to think all the time.
Just take it off.
But yeah, I pulled it off. There's a video of that on YouTube.
I've got a similar story to that. So we played a gig in, was it Old Angel or somewhere in Nottingham?
It was the bottom end, I think it was called.
Oh, it was bottom end. Oh yeah.
It's like an old pub in Ilkeston at the bottom of town.
Right.
My bass, something wasn't working on it, so I need. What I decided to do was go and buy a new bass, or second-hand bass. Yeah. Was it flooded or something?
The pub flooded, so all the gear got flooded.
Oh yeah, all the gear got flooded.
Before.
So I needed a bass. So I went into Nottingham, bought a second-hand 5-string bass that I'd never played before, then turned up to this gig and attempted to play.
Bearing in mind he was bladdered as well.
Oh, this is when I still drank during the gig, so I was bladdered, playing a 5-string bass that I'd never played before.
So there was lots of rogue
There was lots of muted
Bs.
notes and rogue Bs, yeah. Which, to be fair, the kind of music we were playing didn't really matter.
Yeah, I think I saved it to the very last note of the song to play that big fat bottom. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to take a gamble here. I think I got the right note, and I managed to get it right.
And amp-wise, Laney amps, obviously.
Laney amps, obviously, which is it's really cheesy, and people think it's like, oh yeah, you're really stretching on that one. But that is simply, it is they're amazing amps. They are great, but it's what Zebra Music sold at the time.
Yeah, so available.
Yeah, that's the first proper amp I got was a Laney amp, a combo from Zebra Music.
Not a combo.
Yeah.
It used to make me sweat every time I turned up to a gig and they played combo on stage.
Big one. I had that for a few years, then I got my 4x10 cab, which I've still got. It's been like, I had a makeover so many times.
Yeah.
I had a PV head on that for a while, again from Zebra Music. Then I got a Laney head on that, and I've since, in the last literally few months, I've gone, I don't know whether it's considered going to the dark side or just keeping up with progress, but I've gone ampless in the last few months, yeah. Just cause,
how are you finding it?
Just because I'm getting frigging old and can't carry that cab, which seems to get heavier all the time.
Yeah. Any difference? Or
It's weird. I mean, I think you're in the mercy of the venue you play, because it's... I mean, monitors don't work at the best of times.
No. What is it you're using to go direct there? I'm just curious.
I'm literally using, again, a Laney little Digbeth preamp. Which they sent me, and does the job
probably
for
the
me.
way forward, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so far I'm a few gigs and probably half a dozen gigs in it now, and more
Get
than
used
that.
to it.
I've had no complaints from sound guys, so that's fine with me as long as I can hear something on stage.
Probably prefer it.
Yeah,
there's less stuff that you can mangle for them, I suppose, isn't there?
When you're setting up the sound engineer's like, can you turn down? Can you turn down? You're like,
No.
So like, probably getting on for like 30 years into my career, I'm having to get tech-minded now and quite enjoying it. Like, I might... It'll be like, I'll go like wireless and all this kind of stuff eventually. But
get some in-ears.
In-ears, yeah.
Yeah, I use in-ears now.
Yeah?
Yeah, but it's like a bit of a hybrid for me, because I still use real amps, and then the in-ears, it's more for singing, because I can't hear myself. So.
That must be cool there's no better than having a great monitor blasting back at you when you're doing singing. It just, again, going back to confidence, it fills you with confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You don't end up straining yourself by the end of the night.
I feel it makes it so much easier.
I feel like I would miss the mass movement of air behind me.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the main thing.
It's the feeling of being on stage,
feeling like
isn't it?
Gene Simmons on stage, feeling like a god when you... Mind you, I did a gig the other week. It was a Let Loose gig, and it almost felt like that coming from the monitor. The monitor felt frigging brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of weird, having it in front of you blasting out, but... felt like I had an Ampeg like right in front of me. I'm like, damn.
The only thing you miss with in-ears, I find, there's no interaction with you can't hear it. It's very isolating.
Yeah.
So
that might be a bit weird for me.
Yeah, when you're talking to the crowd, you very rarely hear any response. You have to kind of like pop them out.
Danny, sorry, there's not normally a response.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody claps after the songs I play, but I just assume it's because I can't hear it.
I'll try and give you a little fake one.
So check back with me next Christmas, see how I got on with the in-ear.
Any honourable mentions for bass player before we move on?
Yeah, the only other guy which I chopped and changed with, which will become evident later, is Michael Anthony from Van Halen.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of my favourite bass players of all time.
And what a singer as well. His backing vocals are amazing.
Man. He's just insane. I mean, I always say he's like the most rock star. It's like you see a picture of Michael Anthony, it's like, no way that guy's a rock star or in one of the biggest all-time bands, biggest bands of all time. As soon as that guy hits the stage, man, it's freaking magic. He's just pure joy on a stage. And that's as much for me as anything.
Yeah.
And again, a much underrated bass player. Why people... Yeah, was in a band with Eddie Van Halen. But you listen to Mike's parts, especially on the early Van Halen stuff, he's all over the place. And then he's almost on the later stuff, when we're talking about the bass in the mix, on some of those early Sammy Hagar ones in the late 80s, you can't really hear the bass very well. But when they came out in 1991 with For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, the bass was right up there, but it was just thumping on the eighth notes, and it sounds fantastic. It sounds amazing. And I'm like, yeah.
That's the sad thing about some old production. It just ruins the bases.
Yeah.
The mercy of the engineer. And
I'm not familiar with Metallica, but I know And Justice for All has got
we spoke
zero
about
bass.
Zero bass. There's a version of it on YouTube.
Someone's mixed some in.
Yeah.
Does it make a
Justice for
massive
Jason.
And Justice for Jason.
Is that
That's
what
what
it's
it's called.
Was that his first album with them?
Yeah, it was his first album.
Wow.
And they dissed him.
You see, I'm not that au fait with Metallica, you see, so. But that's crazy.
That is crazy, isn't
Yeah.
it? That they do that to him. Just because he wasn't Cliff.
Nuts, man.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that's kind of weird in a way, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
like, the fan base would be like, okay, let's see what this guy can do.
Turn him down.
Yeah, they turn you down.
Keep turning him. Like Lars, less bass. Less bass.
Really, when bass isn't there, it sounds pants.
Bass
makes everything sound good, doesn't it?
It's such a weird... Because to Joe Public, you could play him an album without bass and be like, yeah, this is fine. It's fine. But then you say, okay, listen to this.
Yeah.
They'd be go, ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a weird one. Such a strange one.
Those flashy guitarists ruining things for bass players.
Right. Yeah, it is. Whenever we write something, especially in Parallax, I'd chuck a riff over to Ben, and then he'd come back playing in unison or like weaving in between and stuff. It's like, oh, you've made it sound cooler than it always sounds better.
It matters, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it matters.
really. It's just, it's brilliant.
Yeah, Michael Anthony would be my honourable mention.
Are you a grunge fan? And who had
A
Simon
grunge
Clements?
fan.
Simon Clements is a big grunge fan.
Yeah, me and Simon are more or less exactly the same age. And I would say we went on different tangents because Simon, like me, Van Halen are my all-time favourite band, and I think they're well up there for him as well. And we were into he was a big Extreme fan. He loves all like the hair bands like I do, Bon Jovi, Poison. But when grunge in Seattle became popular in the mid-90s, I think we went in different... Simon totally embraced it and loved it. Whereas I didn't rebel against it or fight against it. It just wasn't for me at the time. Yeah. And so I went in a slightly different direction. I went into more lighter bands, perhaps like Soul Asylum, Gin Blossoms, more of like almost like country rock in a way. Like bands like Hootie and the Blowfish were really big in the mid-90s.
Oh, yeah.
Friggin' loved Hootie and the Blowfish, man. Like college rock bands. So I went down that route until rock started coming back. I tried to keep up with what all my favourite bands were doing.
Yeah.
But pre-internet, I think that's what killed a lot of the bands, because if it was happened today, you could have kept up with what you felt. You don't need to be in the spotlight now. A lot of bands have made careers through the internet. One of my favourite bands is a band called The Midnight, who are like this synthwave band who sell out venues all around the world. I saw them at the Big Academy in Manchester. The place was packed. People were losing their minds.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who this band is outside of the internet or that scene.
But they crafted their own.
Yeah,
they crafted their own way through.
Yeah. So when that happened in the 90s, with no internet or any way to keep in touch with people, you didn't stand a chance. You needed MTV, you needed the radio stations, but you didn't stand a chance with it.
Yeah, it's interesting how you both went different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, Simon said he doesn't like the term grunge.
No, I know he doesn't like it.
So I've termed the name Grungy Clem for him. To take advantage of that.
It didn't take long for him to realise that you were a piss taker.
Grungy Clem.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands I do like. I was never a big Pearl Jam fan, which Simon would hate me for saying that.
He would hate you for saying that.
They're his band. They are his band. I like Stone Temple Pilots. I thought they were great.
Oh, yeah.
They're a brilliant band.
Soundgarden? Are you a Soundgarden fan?
Not massively, no. A lot of it. There wasn't enough melody I mean, the bands I love are like the cheesiest bands. So grunge was like the polar opposite of it. So it took a lot for me to get on board. That's why I love Soul Asylum, because it was fun stuff and melodic and catchy and things like that.
That might be the thing with grunge then, because it's usually quite dark and depressing in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And it came in at such a weird time for me. It was literally at the time when you get into music, you totally immerse yourself in it.
Yeah.
It's everything to you. And just as I got to that point, that's when Nirvana were on Top of the Pops, and I was like, damn. All my bands just kind of... a few bands stuck around for a few years, but it soon became pretty tough to find a new favourite band.
Yeah. Did you like... just going off topic a little bit, do you like Giant?
Dan Huff?
Yeah.
I've not got any Giant albums, but everything I've heard by him. I mean, Dan Huff, who plays for him, he's a legend.
He's one of my favourite.
Have you seen that YouTube video? He's playing the licks for all the hit songs which he's done. That guy's about losing his mind. He's interviewing him.
It's the Vertex video, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vertex pedals. Yeah,
it's brilliant
interview because he's played on like Michael Bolton stuff.
Oh, okay.
He
I
was
need to
like,
have a listen then.
He was one of like the main.
He was
session
like the
players.
go-to guy.
Yeah.
He played on like Peter Cetera songs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
so good.
Just that is Giant
good.
was pure melody.
Yeah. I just thought it kind of fits in with that hair metal.
It does.
It was kind of at the end of that, tail end of that.
That's kind of interesting take, really. I think Giant were almost. I had weird. What's the word I'm after? Weird specifics to the bands I liked. I was, the singer needs to have blonde hair and wear a bandana, which is like a really lame thing. But I would be.
Guns N' Roses.
I would be. Nice. Axel had ginger haze.
Okay.
Wrong. Try again.
Yeah, if the singer had blonde hair, I would be 100% in already. I'd be a convert. And,
I forgot he was ginger.
Yeah. Giant were maybe a little. See, I know Giant for Dan Huff. I can't tell you who else was in the band.
I know his brother was in it.
Yeah.
Apart from.
Yeah.
Neither does Dan.
I love characters in bands. I love a band to be a band.
Yeah.
Which is interesting why I never really got into Guns N' Roses, but they were another one which didn't fall in. Guns N' Roses were a little bit too street for me. They were a little bit too dirty, if that makes sense. I mean, I love Guns N' Roses and I can appreciate everything about what they are, and it's just lightning in a bottle, that band is.
Yeah.
But I just like big fun bands
characters.
with lots of character. Yeah.
You must like Skid Row then.
Love Skid Row, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Well done. Tick.
There you go, got that one right. In fact, there's on the staircase, there's a picture of Heather when she was younger with Sebastian.
No.
Yeah, she met him when she was a kid.
Wow,
Yeah.
I gotta find that on the way.
Yeah.
I gotta see that.
Yeah, there you go.
What year was that?
You'll have to ask her
Okay.
after this.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she'll be
Like
more than happy to talk to you about
1948.
it. Not that old. Right, moving on. Dream. This is my favourite bit. Dream, lead guitarist.
Well, I've probably teased it a little bit
I'm hoping.
when I said my honourable mention was Michael Anthony.
Yeah.
And again, tough call. But I mean, Eddie Van Halen, man.
Classic.
It's perfect choice.
The
Love that
guy's
guy.
just amazing. He deserves any accolade that's been put on him in the last 40 or so years. I just love to see him in this band. I could listen to a Van Halen instrumental album just for what he does.
That's a sign of a good band, though, isn't it? When
Oh, my
take
God.
away the vocals and lyrics.
You
And
could take away the guitar solos. I'd listen to a Van Halen instrumental album.
Nobody talks about his rhythm playing enough. His rhythm playing's crazy.
I think you've said this
So
before.
good.
It's
Yeah.
unreal, man.
His tone, his like his touch, his phrasing, and I think for me, you'll see the poster of Hendrix up there. I think aside from Hendrix, in the world of rock, there's not many others that have shaped
Yeah.
shaped the music scene like Van Halen has. Really, I don't think anyone has since then, as dramatic as that.
No, yeah, probably right.
So I was so late to Van Halen. I knew who they were.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the history of Van Halen in the UK, I mean, you had to be heavily into hard rock, I think, during the 80s to know of them, because they never really broke into the mainstream that much until Jump in 84. I mean, everyone knew Jump. It was a pop hit back then, but there's two songs that came out in 1984. There was Jump by Van Halen, there was Jump by the Pointer Sisters. I actually preferred Jump by the Pointer Sisters at the time.
Really?
Yeah. And I actually spoke to a friend of mine who's a guitarist in a band. He's from Canada, and he actually said the same thing. And I was like, oh, I feel relieved now that somebody else said that, because I just love pop music. And Jump by the Pointer Sisters, friggin' banger, man. I knew Jump, and then they got Sammy in the band later on in the 80s. I knew Why Can't This Be Love?
Yeah, with the synth at the beginning.
Yeah, but other than that, Van Halen didn't really touch the charts in the UK, so you had to be a rock fan, I think, to know who they were. So only reason I really got into Van Halen was through one of the other bands I liked, another support band, Warrant, who I friggin' love to this day. I love the band called Warrant. And I wanted to see them supporting David Lee Roth in Birmingham at the NEC. So we got tickets from Warehead in Nottingham, got on the coach, and Warrant cancelled. Yeah. So we got Jagged Edge, a UK band. We were fine, but they're not Warrant California, singing Cherry Pie with like big-breasted girls in the videos and all that kind of stuff. So I was gutted, but I saw David Lee Roth. Oh, David Lee Roth, he's the guy who sings Jump for Van Halen.
Yeah.
So that kind of put me a bit of focus on it. And then I was speaking to somebody later that summer, and they said, oh, I think I was wearing a David Lee Roth T-shirt. Didn't know nothing about Van Halen. Oh, David Lee Roth. Have you heard the new Van Halen album? I'm like, no, I've not heard him. And he was just reeling off all these songs and talking about how cool it was. So I thought, oh, this sounds really good. Yeah. And that's when Van Halen released For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, which to this day is probably one of my favourite Van Halen albums. And so, yeah, from there, Game Over. Just love it. And I think that was Kerrang called For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge Rich Man Rock. Which I can understand. I get that. But that album is just brilliant. It sounds amazing. It's just a band at the top of the game. And if anyone wants to see a great live band from that era, search Van Halen Pound Cake MTV Video Music Awards in 1991. And that's one of the best live performances you'll see of a band. It's incredible. 100% live. I mean, this is an award show where they have to change all the gear around and set it up. And it's on the fly. It's like throw and go.
Yeah, no massive sound check.
Oh, my God. That performance is just unreal. Like,
there's so much energy on stage.
It's brilliant. I mean, how old would they have been in 91? Probably a lot younger than we are now. They'd have probably been, I don't know. They might have been in the 40s. I don't know. But, yeah, it's brilliant, man. It's brilliant. It's like guitar, bass, drums, vocal. That's it. And it sounds phenomenal. Whoever was doing the sound mix on that needs a medal as well, because everything is perfect.
But have a listen.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But yeah, just Eddie Van Halen, man, is, again, a guy who's just pure joy on stage. It's like, that smile is...
Yeah, he smiles all the time.
All the time, man. He just loves playing. And yeah, I'd be interested to see what he'd be like in this band. That actually hit me pretty hard. I mean, I'm getting to an age now where a lot of my heroes are passing away. A lot of my friends are passing away and all that kind of stuff. It's shit, man.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And that hit me pretty hard. And Simon as well, was speaking about Simon Clements. I think both of us took that one pretty
I remember taking that quite hard as well.
Just weird. It's like,
you think they're going to live forever in a strange sort of way.
Because they're kind of bigger than
life.
Bigger than, you see them as...
Yeah.
And I know he's quite an interesting guy and he had his demons and stuff like that, but he always seemed really cool in interviews.
Yeah. A huge influence on Nuno as well.
Oh, my God.
They're like...
I love to hear Nuno Bettencourt talk about Eddie Van Halen. Brilliant, man. Yeah.
Did you ever get to see... get to meet Eddie Van Halen?
Never met him, no. I saw him live a couple of times, but never got to meet him, so...
Didn't you go on a American road trip going to see them?
I've been to America twice to see Van Halen, yeah.
Where did you see them?
First time I saw them was in Birmingham at the NEC with Sammy Hagar. Then the second time I saw them when they opened for Bon Jovi at Wembley and Don Valley Stadium, which you tell that to people in America. So when do you see Van Halen? So I saw them opening for Bon Jovi. They lose their... you say that to an American person. They lose their shit.
Yeah.
They find it disgusting.
Yeah. It's that way around.
But I have to go through that whole process, what I did just a minute ago with you guys, saying...
Just explain.
Van Halen were nowhere near as big over in the UK as... You guys have big Bon Jovi.
They barely came over. My dad was at that show.
Yeah?
The Don Valley one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That was a red hot... To speak to that, it was a red hot day, that was. That was a great gig, that was. So I saw them then I went to... Actually, I'd have to check the dates, but I bet it's almost 20 years to the day. This is scary. 20 years to the day that I went to see them in Florida on the reunion tour with Sammy Hagar. That was September 2004.
Yeah,
so
20 years.
20 years. So that's crazy. I've just totally messed up a Christmas episode. You'll have to edit that bit out.
Oh, no, keep that in. The magic of being able to release it whenever we want.
There you go. Yeah. So then I saw them a few years later in Dallas when they reunited with David Lee Roth when they had Wolfgang on bass. That would have been 2008, 2009, I think. So yeah.
Okay.
Fly some miles to see your favourite band.
It's worth checking out Wolfgang's, if you've not listened to it already, Mammoth.
I'm a bit indifferent on Mammoth, to be honest.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, it's a bit... Elvis has produced it, he does all the Alter Bridge stuff, so it's like... absolutely cranked,
yeah,
the mix.
yeah.
So it's a bit... I don't really like mixes that are a bit full on, but...
I mean, the guy is so
He's so talented.
He's incredibly talented. And I got that first album. I thought it was fine. The singles were fine, but I'm just left a bit cold by it.
Really?
Yeah, it really is a strange one because the guy is amazing at everything he does, but I don't know. I'm just from... There's no character there, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it just doesn't gel with you, does it?
Yeah.
The joy of music, isn't it?
And everyone relates to him. Everyone talks about him like he's a young kid. But no, the guy's well into his 30s now.
Yeah, I think...
And I'm not
our age.
comparing him to his dad. I mean, he shouldn't do, really. But just the difference is night and day between just the stage presence. Stage presence is a big thing to me. And Wolfgang is getting better. He's rocking out a bit more. But, yeah, I'm just left a bit cold by it. But I think that's just his influences as well. I mean, I've never been a big Alter Bridge fan or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a funny one.
What about honourable mentions for lead
So
guitars?
my honourable mention would have been Nuno Bettencourt, you see. So this band is very interchangeable.
Yeah, it is,
so I didn't want to have two members of Extreme or two members of Van Halen in there. But yeah, if you can't have Eddie Van Halen, Nuno Bettencourt.
Next best thing.
Yeah, or I don't want to say as good as, he'd shoot me for saying that, but Nuno is incredible, man. Are you a big Nuno? You've got to be
I'm a big Nuno fan, but
yeah.
I prefer the music of Van Halen.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I prefer I think I prefer the early Van Halen, but then I prefer Sammy Hagar's voice.
Right.
So I remember the first. I think I had it on VHS. It was Right Here, Right Now. I think a live concert.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that on repeat constantly. And it was like at a kind of that point when you're developing as a musician, and I remember like pausing it, trying to like recreate stuff.
Man.
And
What a great...
And it took me ages to realise that they were tuned down half a step.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow.
Why is it not?
Why is it not?
I'm doing the same thing.
I remember doing we had this like school performance, and I didn't do the full eruption solo because I still can't play the intro because it's so like improvised and everything. But the tapped part, I remember doing that at school. And I can't remember how old I was, but what I do remember is playing it and somebody put the flipping smoke machine on. And it was like extreme amount of smoke, and I was like choking as I was trying to play it.
I bet your dad's got a video of that somewhere, hasn't he?
He's most definitely got a video of that somewhere.
Find that out of the archives.
See, that video is the tour around that time when I first saw Van Halen. That is all around that For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge time.
Yeah, I thought it would have been around that when you were
brilliant,
talking about it, actually.
Brilliant.
I never got to see them, mate. It's the band that got away from me. They're really good.
The one that got away. Anyway, we're down to your final member.
Okay.
Your dream vocalist.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Who is your dream vocalist?
This is a bit of a left turn, but I feel... As we were speaking about Michael Bolton earlier, I don't know if we recorded that or if that was pre-podcast or not. But
we can't even remember.
Speaking about Michael Bolton, so I feel a bit more comfortable bringing this one to the table.
Okay.
I was like, I thought about Butch Walker earlier, but Butch is playing rhythm guitar. I thought, who is an amazing vocalist? And I'm going to go with Richard Marx.
Richard Marx?
Oh, what was his big hit?
He had a massive hit called Right Here Waiting, which is a big ballad.
Yeah.
Then he had a song called Hazard. These are all ballad based.
Yeah.
But much like
Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
But like
he's
the
a bit of a rock dude as well.
The 80s super voice.
Exactly. And yeah.
The 80s super voice. That's a good way
That's
of
a good
explaining
one.
it.
80s super voice. Yeah, let's put
That's
that one
a great
down.
little
That's a
term.
good
Let's
one.
copyright that.
I was saying to you guys, you said you like Michael Bolton. I said, have you heard like the first couple of Michael Bolton albums? Again, like the early Richard Marx stuff. I mean, I'd put him on a similar level, like if you want a comparison, Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
Just a great rock
yeah.
singer-songwriter.
He's got that nice bit of grit in his
Oh,
voice.
my God. And Richard Marx still, like Bryan Adams. I mean, Bryan Adams would be a great choice, actually.
Yeah,
But-
I like Brian Adams.
Yeah, man. And you're talking frontman as well, like just to command
Amazing.
an arena. But Richard Marx still sounds great to this day.
Is he still going?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's brilliant on Twitter as well. He's like,
Oh, is he? He's got a bit of a character
He's
on
like,
there.
what's his name on Twitter? Who's James Blunt? Who's really funny on Twitter. You can't give him any shit 'cause you'll just get shot down in a heartbeat. But yeah, Richard Marx. If you're not familiar, I mean, most people just know him for his ballads, but check out his early stuff. It's like some really rocking.
Oh, I'll have to listen. Yeah, I only really knew the
radio-friendly rock
ballads.
tunes.
That's,
Yeah,
that's kind of
he's
where I know him
brilliant.
from.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting. I mean, there's so many great songwriters in this band. You got Richard Marx, you got Butch Walker, you got Eddie Van Halen, who's an amazing songwriter from a guitar point of view as well.
Yep.
So you got my boy Matt Kirby holding down the meat and potatoes on the drums and Pat Badger on bass. So I don't know, it's a bit of a win for me.
A huge amount of vocals in there, isn't there?
Exactly.
Amongst them all.
Well,
yourself included.
I've got a keyboard player as well who I could throw in as well, which would be even more vocals. But
I mean, let's hear who it is. We're not allowing him into your band.
he's not allowed in.
No,
Wow.
not allowing him in.
Christmas, Dan. Dan, it's Christmas.
How
No,
are you? One
I am
Christmas
being
week.
Scrooge. But who would it have been if we would have let him in?
Yeah,
Maybe we can do a tour with you.
yeah. I mean, I was speaking about Tico Torres of Bon Jovi, and I thought, I mean, there's not many rock keyboard players. Who you say?
Oh,
Who's a rock keyboard
yeah,
player?
Dave
Bryan.
Yeah.
I love David Bryan, but I thought, would we have Dave in there? I thought, no, let's get Taylor Hanson in there from Hanson.
Taylor, wow, that's a curveball. That is.
Yeah, man.
Was not expecting that.
Friggin' Hanson are awesome, dude.
They were unbelievably talented, actually.
Yeah.
You just think of Umbop and then...
That's it. That's the weird thing. People
Yeah.
think, oh, Hanson, they're them three kids.
Yeah.
Those three kids are well into their 30s now with about 3
Yeah.
or 4 kids of their own.
Yeah.
And they've had a career of over 20 years, like releasing independent albums. They're just a pure power pop band. And Taylor, who's like essentially the front man but plays keyboards as well. I mean, friggin' hell, that guy's got a voice as well.
Yeah,
So that's
wicked
another
voice.
songwriting.
Yeah.
But Dan's saying he's not allowed, so I'm sorry, Taylor, you're not allowed.
Maybe,
Exactly.
He can come on for the encore or
You
something.
can,
like that.
you can nip on. You can have him as a guest appearance.
Special guest.
Special guest.
they do an album together and then tour it.
Yeah, I mean, just for a reference point, Taylor had a side project called Tinted Windows. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No.
They did one album, and there was Taylor on there. There was, let me see if I can get this right. There's the guy from Smashing Pumpkins on guitar. What's his name? James something. I don't know how you
can't
pronounce
remember.
his
Is he
surname.
the one that he's not with them anymore?
I'm
They've
not
just
sure.
got a new guitarist.
Are
now,
they
haven't
really? Okay, he was an
it's-
integral part of that band, I think. They had Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne on bass, another incredible power pop songwriter, and they had the drummer from Cheap Trick on drums.
Oh, Cheap Trick. I
Yeah.
like Cheap Trick, yeah.
So Tinted Windows, 2009, I think it was. It's worth checking out.
Give it a listen.
They've got great voices, haven't they? Going back to
Hanson.
Hanson.
Oh my God, yeah. That's like three brothers just.
Yeah, there's every now and again they pop up on like Instagram or something. where they,
Yeah,
like,
oh man, they're great, dude.
Doing
where
the
it says like,
harmonies.
look, they've grown up and they're
Yeah.
Well, it's almost
amazing.
like we mentioned a minute. It's almost like Busted. It's
Yeah.
like people are saying, "Oh, they're that pop band," but no, these are like grown men now in a pop rock band.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, I remember watching Masked Singer and
Oh my God, yeah.
and
Charlie.
Charlie Simpson.
Well, Charlie Simpson, but there's on the American one. There was I can't remember what the character was, but there was you could tell there was 3 voices, and I remember saying to Heather, "I think that's Hanson."
right,
And it was.
No way.
So
I've
it
not
just
seen
shows
that.
how good and like recognisable
Yeah.
their voices are. They're amazing.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Brilliant.
But same with Charlie.
Oh,
Like, as
that
soon
was
as I heard his voice,
amazing.
it was like,
I love Charlie.
that's definitely Charlie.
I love Fight Star as well.
Yeah, and that's all, as cheesy as that program is, and sometimes, especially on the American ones, you hear it, it's like there's so much auto tune on that. It's
Heavily
terrible, it's
produced.
horrible. But that Charlie one in particular, it's like there was no, people had no preconceptions. They were just like, holy shit, who is this?
And then
Incredible.
the year after, it was Danny Jones.
That's right. Yeah.
So I like McFly as well.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. McFly are another great
Yeah,
example.
great band.
Just a great rock band. Do you see the Richie Sambora one?
Yeah, and same again. You know when he started singing, because I've spent so many years listening. I mean, all his solo stuff as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I love his solo albums.
You knew it straight away.
So first line I was like, "There's nobody who pronounces his vowels like Richie
Yeah.
Sambora. He's got such a unique like
Way of
delivery
singing.
with his
Yeah.
voice." It's-
What was really cool about that was obviously they had him playing guitar, and obviously he's not playing guitar in that suit.
Yeah.
But you could tell he recorded those solos.
You could tell it was him.
You could tell that was him playing
Did you pick it out as well then when you were watching it?
I think I never watched the show, and I think I saw something online that said, I'm sure that's Richie Sambora. So I'm like, I got to check this out.
Yeah.
So I went in almost like subconsciously knowing. But as soon as I had it, 100% that's him. Yeah.
It just shows though, these people have got unique properties about them, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, unique talent.
Richie Sambora, Stranger in This Town, one of my favourite albums of all time.
Amazing album. The album after it was quite good as well.
Yes, yeah.
It's like a bit more country thing, isn't it? The one after that, there's sort of a handful of standout tracks on it, but he's just a great songwriter.
I'd love to see him get back on track. I think he's got a few demons at the moment.
Yeah.
But,
There's talks of him joining Bon Jovi again, but
they should do something.
But they've got Phil X now, and
Phil X would more than happily step aside for Richie Sambora to come back. I like Phil X. He's cool. He's fun.
Do you like the drills then?
What I've heard of them, it's fun stuff.
He kind of fits in that, like Black Molly's kind of thing.
Have you seen Phil X talking about how to play Running with the Devil properly?
I've watched loads
That's
of his stuff on.
He's saying it's slightly out of tune. You have to tune it slightly different. You'll never play it. You'll never play it quite right because you have to tune it slightly different.
Oh God,
legend, really, really good.
Okay, we're going to summarise your choices.
Okay.
Rob. So, your dream drummer is?
My buddy Matt Kirby.
Your rhythm guitarist?
Butch Walker.
Your lead guitarist?
Mr. Edward Van Halen.
Your bass player?
Pat Badger.
Your vocalist?
Richard Marx.
And what are you doing?
I'm tour manager.
No, you're not.
Backing vocals.
Backing vocals.
You can manage the band as well.
You can manage the tour,
but you've
got to be on stage.
Oh, can I just introduce them then?
No, that does not count as backing vocals. That's pre-vocals, if anything.
This logo that you put on there.
I don't even know what it says.
I don't think even they do, whoever created it.
So it's time.
Hardest question in the world.
Yeah.
To name your band.
Name your dream band, baby.
How can two guys who are in a band ask somebody else to name a band on the spot? Because naming a band is the hardest thing.
I thought I always find it quite easy.
Really?
Yeah. When he created Emperor Chung, we like come up with a concept, didn't we, for the band? And then it's like, we should call it something mad like Emperor Chung.
No way. Is that how that came about?
And then that was it.
You've got a brain that works a different way to everybody else.
He's an ideas man.
Are you calling me special?
I was in a band for over 10 years called Teenage Casket Company, which is the strangest band name ever. So I'm not the one to ask band names, but
no, but you've said it, and I remember the band. So I remember the band name.
That's the weird thing. Yeah,
it worked.
I think that's the only reason I rolled with it. It was so bizarre that
it worked. You knew,
even if you don't remember it quite right, if someone says it, you remember hearing it at some point.
Well, it's just what I always think TCC. I just know, I know what it means.
But Dip is a great band name. I think if you can get like a short, sharp name.
I've been in lots of bands which have been summarised into 3 initial.
Yeah, Dip.
Like an acronym.
TCC.
Yeah, Dip, TCC. I was in a band called People on Vacation, which always went down to POV.
I might be a bit mind blown here. Yeah. Does Dip stand for something then? Did I not know this?
Another of the things which I thought was really cool about Dip was like the image and everything. Oh, that logo looks cool. And it comes from, I'll probably get it wrong, but there was a factory in Ilkeston called Dip. And it stood for, it was something like, I'll get this wrong, but it was something along the lines of domestic imperial pressings or something like that. But the thing...
The Dip origin story. I don't know
this is the Dip origin story. But what apparently back in like the 70s or 80s, they used to have Dip stickers, which kids used to get. Like the people who worked at Dip used to bring these stickers. It must have been stickers that they put on products or something like that. And all the kids around Ilkeston used to have Dip stickers on the bikes. And I think
it's linked into the history of Ilkeston.
Yeah.
No
True
way.
Story. And I remember the guys in the band telling me, I thought, that is so cool.
Yeah, it is.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Can't believe I didn't know that all this time.
Yeah, you have to find out. It's something like Domestic Imperial Pressings or something like that.
It sounds like an old-fashioned company name, doesn't it? Dip. Simple.
Yes, I was in Dip, TCC, POV. Then a few years ago, I did a tour with a band called Grand Theft Audio, which became GTA.
Yeah. Oh, Grand Theft Audio.
Yeah.
You were You played with Ryan Hamilton as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was after People on Vacation. I don't think that don't summarise into 3 letters.
No. No, I just remembered that you played with him.
Yeah.
That's all. 'Cause the amount of bands that you played with.
Someone
crazy.
said to me the other day, you should write a list of all the bands which you've played with, which I think I should do just to try and
Do it.
keep it in my memory.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting old now, I forget shit.
I forget more than I remember
And I
these
probably
days.
forgot this band name, which you're going to ask me about.
Yeah, well, back to the band name.
Yeah.
Have you got one?
I have got one. I don't, but it can be summarised into 3 letters, actually.
Perfect. So it goes with the
so it'd
theme
be
then.
like MGMT and all that kind of thing. So I'm going for, I don't know if this says, World's Greatest Mixtape.
World's greatest mixtape.
WGM.
WGM. Perfect. That kind of sums up your little career as well, doesn't it?
exactly.
Really?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Being a gun for hire.
Yeah, we are the world's greatest mixtape. That's what I'm going to go for.
Oh, that's wicked. I imagine the artwork as well.
There you go. Done by Daz, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Daz. Do you think this band will get on? You've been in loads of bands.
If everybody was still alive, would it get on?
Yeah. We've reanimated them for this band.
I think it would do, actually, because everyone would be in awe of the fact that they're playing with Eddie Van Halen. That'd be the first thing. Everyone would be a fan. So if Eddie Van Halen was in good shape, I think the band... Yeah, I think everyone would get on really well, to be honest.
Decent.
Oh, it's amazing. It's an amazing lineup.
This is a great lineup, isn't it? There's a few you need to listen to.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, you'll enjoy it, mate.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands I'm going to check out now, thanks, Rob. So,
But yeah, awesome, dude.
Nice one, man. Thank you.
But thank you so much for coming on.
Mate, thank you. I've loved it. Hope I've not rambled on too much.
No, we're as guilty as for rambling on as anyone. But if you can't ramble in a podcast, where can you ramble?
That's it, man. Long car journey.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. So where can we find you on social media? Rob?
I'm on all the social medias. Find me as... Let me get this right, because I've not done this for quite some time. Probably the best one I'm going to locate you to is just stvpod.com.
Cool.
Which is the main podcast one, which I think there's pretty much links to everything on there. So
Yeah.
that's the easiest one.
Yeah.
People can just Google you, can't they?
Yeah, stvpod.com. Yeah. But yeah, don't go Google Rob Lane, because you might get the BBC music producer, Rob Lane.
Is he disgraced?
Well, no. The guy's much more talented and much more successful than me. You could be watching a BBC programme and the credits will go up. It's like musical director Rob Lane.
I'd probably think that was you, if I saw that.
So, mate, I've had so many screenshots of, is this you? Is this you? Like, you're giving me more credit than I deserve right here. Yeah, fair play to that guy. I'm sure I've got some of his PPL royalties over the years. I'm sure I have.
Perfect.
'Cause I don't deserve it.
Keep them coming. Keep them checks coming, Rob Lane.
That's awesome. Have you got any shows coming up? Mind you, they're probably...
Look out for me in 2025.
Oh, yeah, 2025.
In
Yeah,
2025.
Wow.
At Butlins doing Let Loose shows. So that'd be... If you come in for a naughty, drunken weekend at Butlins...
You'll be there.
I may well be on stage. Yeah.
doing the pick trick and slamming the bass.
The pick tricks are still happening.
The picture. I watched a video of Patchwork Grace the other day in Jam.
Yeah. He still does them.
Did you teach him?
He stole it. Yeah, he totally stole it off me.
I was going to say.
Totally. He might say he stole it off Bond Soup. He totally stole it off me.
Brilliant. So thank you very much for coming on the
Cheers,
pod.
dude.
Thank you, guys. It's
It's
been a lot
brilliant
of fun.
catching up.
Been a
Really,
lot of
really
fun.
good.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
There he is, cracking open a beer.
It clipped.
What, the cracking of the beer clipped?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is it?
Alcohol-free. Brewdog. Wingman. Look at the artwork.
Oh.
It's dead good. It's a session IPA.
Oh, I don't like IPAs. They're too floral for me.
I like them. Yeah, you've got
Says
a
a lot about
snack
you.
at the moment, haven't you?
I've got a snack, and is it time for tea chat?
Tea chat with Danny and
You've done me a random tea.
Yeah. I've got a cheat sheet here to
And
get
I-
all the information right.
Okay, so I don't know what this flavour of tea is, so I'm going to give it a little try live. Is it too hot? Are we going to have a little burn chat again? Oh, not too sure about this. There's a herbal element. I'll put that out there.
Okay. Right, it's by Heath and Heather.
It's warming. It's got a bit of like cinnamon-like-esque to it.
You've got one ingredient.
I've got cinnamon and apple.
Yeah. Yay! You got it.
It's quite nice, actually. I
Yeah,
like
it's
the-
organic apple and cinnamon. A harmonious coupling of freshly baked apple and warming cinnamon spice.
It takes a few sips to get used to. Can everyone... he's not finished. Did you hear that, listeners?
I'm allergic to Brewdog, it seems.
All my bullshit.
I've been sneezing all the time, then.
Cheers, dude.
Right, should we talk about...
No, because I've got to finish my tonics first.
Do you want to share a tonics fact? For any of you international listeners, there's a brand of
it's a traditional
confectionery.
A traditional wafer snack.
Yes, indeed. Do you want to describe it? Is it described on the packet?
That's a very good point. It's described as a milk chocolate caramel wafer biscuit. It's too many words there for me. And the interesting fact is that more than 7 million of these biscuits are made and sold every week. I mean, you, Danny, didn't believe that, did you?
No, I didn't believe that.
Are you? What did you say? You'd never seen them out in the wild before, like the public eating them.
No, but now I just spot them all the time.
Yeah, but do you spot 7 million a week?
It's like
7 million. That feels to me like people were walking along and just spilling out of people's pockets because they've got so many tonics on them at all times.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
But you don't see that, do you?
We went to Centre Parks the other week. I sent you a picture, didn't I? I was like, zoom in, see what you can see.
Well, there was James Hetfield in the background.
Oh, yeah. He did look like James Hetfield, didn't he?
But on the table, there was a tonics. Spotted it a mile away.
Yeah.
But again, is that evidence of 7 million being sold every week?
One of 7 million. Takes the pressure off slightly.
That one's doing a lot of heavy lifting, though, isn't it? Anyway,
a lot of heavy lifting. Anyway,
we apologise, listeners, because all we're doing at the minute is eating and drinking.
Yeah, no, we're in the festive spirit, though, aren't we?
To be fair, this is a very festive drink.
I thought you had a Christmas jumper on, but it's not. It's like a dinosaur waiting to be damaged by impending doom.
It's a depiction of the extinction event.
Oh my God, I'm coughing now.
The extinction event that led to the extinction of the dinosaurs.
You know that shirt? I think we should take a picture of you in it, but I can imagine Noel Fielding wearing that on Bake Off.
Yeah, I've got a bit, yeah.
You've got about that kind of look going on.
I think that series of Bake Offs inspired me to be more Noel Fielding.
Be more Noel.
Well, in some
Noel.
ways at least.
Anyway, let's talk about Rob Lane. What a flipping legend. It was so good having him on, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love... He's a great guy.
Yeah, great guy. Great guy. I've really been looking forward to having him on the podcast.
Oh, it's on again.
And Christmas special.
I know, happy Christmas, dude. We're not far off Christmas now, in reality, in the real world. I know I've revealed it, but we're not far off, are we?
Yeah, we're leading up to it.
So everywhere is Christmassy.
Are you ready? Are you ready for Christmas?
No, because I always think I'm going to do it well ahead, but I never actually do. The idea is always there, though. The thought's there, but no, I'm still buying plenty of Christmas gifts this week and next week. And I won't wrap them until, like, the day before, so...
Really? Are you a day before rapper?
I'm a day before everything, aren't I? Like, I'm not really a prepared man.
You need to leave enough time for Santa, though, to do his work. Anyway, let's move on.
Who did Rob pick in his dream band, Danny?
Right, I've made a list in pencil yet again, and I'm finding it very difficult to read.
Well, I can't read it from this strange angle. So, again, just for the listeners, Danny, can we just describe my microphone stand and how it's evolved over the weeks that we've done this podcast?
It's just...
Because I'm getting further away, and it's at the strangest angle, and literally every little bit, if you touch it, kind of like collapses.
I won't lie, Dan. I mean, you buy cheap, you buy twice. That's probably what's happened.
Absolutely.
You cut corners.
Yeah, but to be fair, it was cheap on Amazon.
What's it say on the side? Whacked.
It doesn't say anything on the side. No, I think the problem stemmed from when you moved it to record some of your guitar, wasn't it, at some point?
Don't blame this on me.
I'm blaming it on you. It was in the perfect position before that.
Don't put the blame on me.
So who did Rob pick?
Right, should we start with... What member? Should we start with the drums?
Whatever's on topic. Yeah, start with the drums.
Okay, we'll start with the drums. We'll go through in order.
Go for it.
Sorry, listeners, we're a bit kind of... We're
very
relaxed, aren't we?
We're very relaxed today. We're very relaxed.
Christmas. Drums, we had Matt Kirby.
Calm and Gorgeous.
Which he played for Adam Bomb.
Indeed.
For a while, and we did a bit of research, and he played on a live album, which we haven't been able to get our hands on.
No.
Live at... Was it at Rock City? But I don't think it's Rock City, Nottingham. I think
it could be.
Detroit
Rock City.
But we looked at some of his work with
Hi-Fi Stacey.
Hi-Fi Stacey.
You got it right in front of you, but you can't read it, can you?
No, because I didn't actually write that bit down. I just wrote down.
Oh, did you not?
I wrote down the songs that we had to listen
by
to.
Hi-Fi Stacey.
Yeah, and he does exactly what Rob was hoping, like proper solid meat and potatoes drumming, bum cha.
I wasn't expecting the bum cha then.
But he proper serves the song, doesn't he? You know, it's
solid drummer.
Solid drummer for that kind of straight up rock kind of stuff.
And I hope Rob gets to play with him one day in a project.
And there's plenty of bell in the chorus.
Very festive.
Ting, ting, ting. I think using the... Are you right over there?
You got me with bell on the chorus.
I don't know what you mean. The bell of the China.
The bell of the Chinaman?
I didn't add man on the end, did I?
I did. Who's next?
Well, we haven't talked about the songs.
Okay, let's talk about the songs. You can't read them, though.
I know. There was a track in particular that the drumming was it was like a standout kind of, there was a rock solid riff and the drumming really reinforced that riff, and the track was called The Last In Line, and it's from an EP from 2017 if you want to check it out.
Oh, is that the heavier one? Was that the heavier one?
Yeah, it was a heavier one.
Listen to, yeah. This is pretty cool, that was.
Yeah, got you on board, so, I mean, that's a tick, isn't it?
Tick, tick, tick.
You're like, yeah, you could work with him as a drummer, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Unless it's not unless it's a problem. But Rob didn't indicate that it was a problem. So.
I thought he was going to say that he was not into prog.
Oh, I mean, I don't think he is into prog.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be speculating at this point.
We're speculating, of course. But I don't think Matt Kirby... It didn't appear to be any prog elements in there.
No.
But you know what? I'm happy that it wasn't the bloody Dream Theater drummer.
Portnoy.
I think we even want to say his name.
He's had a mention on every episode.
I know. I thought
anyway,
we've done it again.
Moving on. He's had enough airtime.
His band.
Next member.
Yeah.
On bass, he had Pat Badger.
I'm a badger. I'm digging a borough. What a name.
Classic. I was very surprised at your reaction as when we were listening through some tracks.
Describe to the listeners what my reaction was.
Your reaction was like, that you really liked his funky element and his like technical prowess on the bass, because he can keep up with Nuno, can't he? Especially with like the riffs and stuff.
I don't personally. I don't really like extreme. Sorry, Rob. It's not my kind of thing, really. But his bass playing did really impress me. I've not listened to a lot of extreme because it's, like I say, it's not my kind of thing. But his tone was brilliant with a pick as well. Got some nice little pick scratchiness in there.
It cuts really well on that. The album that we listened to first was Porno Graffiti, which is like the biggest album, I dare say.
Was it?
Yeah, and it's got, Get the Funk Out, and which you kind of did a rendition of. You put your Dan Dan rendition twist on it.
What I did, I listened to it and then tried to play it from memory.
A track called Cupid's Dead, where he plays in unison with...
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. In fact, no. Let me just check this. I'm going to fact check.
Fact check. One thing I will say, though, is that the latest album they've released, the 2023 album, was it? Terrible.
I don't really like the production on it.
Nuno's did it himself. And I wouldn't say he's got the best ear for it, if I'm honest.
Sorry, Get the Funk Out is obviously off Porno Graffiti. It was the next album.
There's one that sounded much better, wasn't it?
3 Sides to Every Story had Cupid's Dead, which had that really killer... I mean, that stands out to me for bass playing.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Like, it's really, really cool. So funky.
And tone as well, tonally.
Yeah, really good.
It's less thin than the previous album.
But...
It's a thicker bass tone.
The album after that, Waiting for the Punchline...
Yeah.
We listened to a track called Hit Today, and the bass line was cool, but I preferred the tone on this one.
Oh, this is the
like
tone.
Fuller body.
This is the fuller tone.
Yeah,
this is what I'm on about. Yeah.
So, the bass playing on Cupid's Dead is just out of this world. Yeah, it's wicked. It's so good.
Like I say, it keeps up. Like
dun, 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 dun. It's like really bouncy and kind of groovy, isn't it? There's lock-in so well. I think Pat Badger and the rock-solid, rock-steady drums of Matt Kirby, so far...
Match made in heaven.
It's a match made in heaven.
Indeedly.
I think it'll blend.
Well, it blend.
Rhythm guitar. Who did we have?
We had Butch Walker.
Butch Walker. Now, we kind of surprised ourselves with how much stuff we've heard from him. And in particular, because we started looking at his...
his production credits.
Yeah, his production credits. And there was a band that he was in called Marvelous 3.
Yes.
Which I was listening to it, like, it made me feel happy. I really like listening to it. It's like getting in a car, driving in the sunshine, kind of. If I had a convertible with the roof down.
Is that how you'd live? Is that how you'd live?
I felt like...
Playing Marvellous 3.
I felt like de-roofing my car.
This is a little extreme. Oh, no pun intended.
Wrong member.
Wrong band. Wrong band.
And banging on some Marvellous 3. But there was actually
Good for you.
But there was actually a song.
Great album artwork, by the way, as well.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
I think, well, what
Freak
is
of the
that?
Week.
Is that a
I was
band?
like, I'm sure I've heard that song before, because, you know, the title. And then we put it on and was like, this used to be on Kerrang all the time.
Yeah, I can remember that one.
But Butcher's voice, it's excellent.
It doesn't seem to have changed much over the years either.
No,
it's very
'cause
consistent.
This week, I'm going to listen to their album that was out in 2023, because we listened to a couple of tracks off there, My Old School Metal Heart and...
Kill a Motherfucker That Breaks Your Heart.
So we listened to them 2 tracks, and it was just like, yeah, this sounds great.
This is
I
fun,
really
happy stuff.
Yeah.
I think it goes along with Rob's philosophy about music, really. He likes that kind of... that fun element, doesn't he?
I mean, obviously he's picked him as a rhythm guitarist, hasn't he? So that's what we need to be focusing on. But the rhythm guitars in that, what we've heard, the tone sounds great, the guitar serves the song. What more
No
do you ask
complaints.
for?
No complaints.
Definitely want him on backing vocals.
Yeah.
I think that's going to work really, really well. And then if we look at, because Rob was talking about his songwriting ability, if you go on to, I mean, we're on Apple Music at the moment, just reminding ourselves of some of the stuff that is... some of the artists that he's worked with. I mean, he's worked with Weezer, Pink, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy.
Is that Avril?
Avril Lavigne, Train. I mean...
everyone.
Keith Urban. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. The amount of people that he's worked with. He's obviously got a great songwriter as well as a great producer. So what a great addition to this rock solid
Dream band lineup. Who's next? Who have we got?
We've got lead guitar.
Oh, the classic Eddie Van Halen.
I mean, wow.
What can you say? What can you say? Danny, what can you say about Eddie Van Halen?
Well, he reshaped rock guitar.
There's a bold claim.
He did.
He reshaped rock guitar.
Yes, definitely. So there's Jimi Hendrix, for me, like...
By the way, this is just Danny's opinion.
This is just my opinion.
Saying it so confidently, I think I believe him.
I think probably a lot of the rock community would agree, whether or not they're a Van Halen fan. But what Van Halen did for guitar tone, guitar technique, guitar phrasing... there was nobody else really doing that at the time. I mean, I'd love to have been around in the 70s and experienced it the first time, but I remember as a kid hearing Eruption for the first time, and it completely just blew me away. There was nothing else that I'd heard like it as a kid. And then that kind of unlocked hearing all these other artists that were inspired by him as well.
Other musical avenues.
So I think without him... in rock music, I think rock music...
yeah, I can see the kind of
different.
providence of it. Like, it's not my kind of jam.
No,
personally.
No. I remember having this conversation with Rob, didn't we, when we finished it, and we were trying to like convince you of this is great, but you can't get past the production for the main thing, can you?
No, I struggle with it. To my ears, not very listenable. It's a little bit harsh. Drums sound amazing. I've got to give the drums a shout out on the Van Halen's albums. They always sound massive.
Yeah, one of the tracks we talked about with Simon Clements as well.
Grungy Clem. Call back to Grungy Clem.
Flashback. We talked about Pound Cake.
Yeah.
And there's like that big intro with the
drill.
The drill guitar and, you know...
Oh, I actually watched the MTV... Rob recommended a MTV video.
Oh, did you?
The live awards.
Oh, yeah.
And I did watch that performance, and it was pretty...
impressive.
I think kind of, if I was around at the time, I would have appreciated them more as like a live band rather than the albums, I suppose. Incredible.
Yeah, I think probably it's one of them kind of bands. It's kind of hard to capture that magic on recording.
Yeah.
In a way, they've got that kind of...
they've got such a great live show and like stage presence, all of them.
Yes, totally. I mean, there's some tracks that we just revisited. I mean, I listen to Van Halen quite a bit anyway, but I just wanted to show you some songs that kind of stand out to me.
Indeed.
I've always found the song Right Now quite moving. You said cheesy.
Yes, they're the words I used.
Pound Cake is just like huge. I thought I'd try and tempt you with some Van Halen. There was a track called Good Enough. I mean, you noticed that there was something different with the guitar, didn't you? He tunes his low string down to A,
Yeah.
And I think you Googled it, didn't you? And
Oh, there was that song As Is as well.
oh yeah, off the...
That was like drone metal, like modern drone metal.
That was the last...
really interesting.
Yeah, you were like,
And then it obviously dropped into the cheese as always. But I really like for its time as well. That's groundbreaking. Doing bloody drop A, and actually it's probably suited the production better as well. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, the song Good Enough, he used a bass string on that, didn't he?
I think that's what I read online. Who knows if it's true or not?
It's got some real like clank.
Yeah.
Definitely check out that track, because I didn't know that Van Halen messed about with tunings that much. I mean, it's usually half step down for him.
Yeah.
Or he's got the like drop D tuner on his guitar, because he always had a floating trem. So he just
the
like pulls
flappy-
this thing
the
out.
flappy thing.
It's like a flappy thing. Pulls out this bolt.
Technical.
And then it drops down the low string a whole tone, so you don't have to mess about. Really cool invention. There's a few newer tracks that they did. One of which being Humans Being. I was just checking. Humans Being. And it's,
okay.
Yeah, it's just...
Oh, yeah,
it's
with
just,
Dick
yeah, really, really cool. Really, really moody and kind of... Yeah, you know what? I'm well happy with Van Halen being in this band.
Again, though, it suits the band, doesn't it? It suits the kind of style he's going for.
And like his technique, his lead playing, he was such an expressive player. His stage presence is amazing. There's nobody happier than what Van Halen was on stage while he was playing.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, he was just, a wicked choice.
A great man to resurrect.
Indeed.
We'll use our powers for good.
On vocals.
Who is the final member? Richard Marx.
Richard Marx.
With the is he? I mean, I don't want to be horrible, but was he a one-hit wonder?
I mean,
he's released about 40 albums by the looks of it, to be honest.
I think Rob would disagree.
Probably would. And rightfully so.
Yeah,
Just me being me.
It's just you being Dan. His back catalogue is tremendous.
Vast.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's, we didn't have enough time, sorry Rob, to go through everything.
We went for a few decades though, didn't we?
We did.
Like really modern stuff.
I think I prefer...
It's gone full on pop. It's gone full on pop.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? And we kind of went as modern as we could go. Was off the 2004 album. There's a track called Nothing Left to Say, which is, he's got a really good kind of croaky, gritty voice.
His
on
voice
that.
is still good. His voice is still really good.
There's a song off another album from 1994 called Now and Forever, like an acoustic track. It's very kind of, he's very like...
Trying to rekindle the hits of like Right Here Waiting For You, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, that's a superb song of its time, isn't it?
Classic.
Yeah, it's a classic song.
Weirdly though, I think I prefer the older production on that.
I think I'm with you on that.
It works better with his voice and kind of that emotion that you get, because he delivers a lot of emotion, doesn't he?
Blended with Butch and Rob
on
back vocals as well.
Looking back, I'm surprised we allowed that.
Yeah, I know.
But it's Christmas.
It is Christmas. Yeah,
it's a Christmas miracle that we've allowed that.
Yeah, he really wanted the Badger to be on bass, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's fair enough. But Rob is an amazing bass player.
He is
an
amazing bass player.
We need to get that out there. That Rob's work. I mean, he plays for everyone now. I'd just like to issue a formal apology. If my voice and Danny's voice sounds a little bit different from this point onwards, it's because I left the speaker on. My fault completely. I can't blame Danny in any way, because I would if I could.
You great tithead.
Oh no, sorry. Let's continue. Let loose. You wanted to say something about...
Yeah, I wanted to talk about, if you want to catch Rob playing some bass.
And showing off his skills.
Yeah.
He's at Butlins in 2025.
With Let Loose.
A classic band.
Well, it's one hell of a lineup. The combination of all those nice voices. I was saying about, before we went on a slight tangent, but the songwriting ability between Butch Walker...
Yeah.
Being like... Yeah, I mean, he's obviously got the songwriting skill, hasn't he? With old school Richard Marx, would you say?
I'd go that way if it was me.
Yeah. And Van Halen's kind of...
Madness
on guitar.
How do you describe it?
And then the rock-solid rhythm section of Matt Kirby and Pat Badger just burrowing his way through everything.
Kirby and Badger. What a combo.
Just class.
And the band name, The World's Greatest Mixtape.
Yeah.
I think
it's a great T-shirt design.
It'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
Would you buy a T-shirt?
Daddy, would you buy a T-shirt? Daddy, would you buy a T-shirt? Daddy, would you buy a T-shirt? Put your money where your mouth is. Daddy, would you buy a T-shirt? Daddy, would you buy a T-shirt? Daddy, would you buy a T-shirt? Put your money where your mouth is.
I probably would.
Would you? What do you think?
I probably would.
We'll get some designs made up, won't we?
Yeah.
Have a little look.
Yeah.
And I suppose the most important question, Danny, is: would you go and see this band?
1,000,000%.
Yeah, same.
I'm creating a T-shirt as we speak.
Oh, using your design skills.
Yeah.
Your graphic design skills that you've got.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners' attention, Danny is using his chin as a drawing implement.
World's...
Sharpest chin.
What is it? World's greatest mixtape?
I believe so.
WGM.
That's the one.
It's creating image. I thought it'd probably spit something like this out.
Oh,
It's pretty good. It's nice and bright.
Extremely bright.
Yeah.
I'd buy that T-shirt.
Yeah. Throw me one word to like just redesign it. Make it more...
Pop punk.
There we go. I probably wouldn't buy that one.
I respect your honesty. Bloody hell. It looks similar from this angle. I mean, it's added the word 1980s to it.
And it's got a checkerboard kind of Vans design.
Oh,
in the
that's
background.
yeah. We're getting there. We'll display these anyway.
And it actually says 1980s on it.
I know it does.
Yeah, only because you write 1980s on it doesn't make it 1980s.
No, it doesn't. But
Yeah.
let's not get into that.
Anyway, we had a little chat earlier, didn't we, with a special guest?
We did indeed. A little gibbon, I like to call her.
Yep. About our little trip to Yorkshire Wildlife Park. This is a little bonus bit of material for all you keen listeners that have stuck with us throughout 2024.
So I suppose we'll leave you with that.
Yeah.
Check Rob out on all the social media stuff, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year as well.
And I hope you're still listening to us in 2025.
Yeah, we've got lots of cool guests already
We've
lined
done
up.
so many already.
And we, hand on heart, we cannot thank you enough for all the support that you've given us. It's been so good hearing all the positive feedback from the podcast.
I know it's
isn't
madness,
it?
really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting half as much positive feedback.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be some bad feedback in there, to be honest.
There might be at some point.
I'm ready for it.
I'm prepared.
I definitely will not react proportionately.
Remember a lot. Right, thanks again, listeners. That's the end of this episode and the end of 2024, nearly. Okay, listeners, until next time, goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Dude. The.
What?
Dudes.
Dudes.
Let's try again. Dude.
Dude, how you doing?
Dudes.
Hey.
Hey, we've got a special guest today. We won't mention names, but we've got a special guest.
We'll call her Gibbon.
Get out. Sit still.
Oh no.
Right, what we got to talk about? What we've been doing? Have we been in anywhere special?
Yorkshire Wildlife Park.
Yorkshire Wildlife Park.
We had
indeed.
fun, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
Did we see lots of cool animals?
Yes.
What was your favourite animal that you saw?
The polar bears.
Yes, you've heard it, listeners. Polar bears
Arctic bears.
in Yorkshire.
Indeed. What about your favourite animal, Danny?
My favourite animal was probably... I enjoyed the meerkats, but there was one that stood out to me.
I know what this is already.
It was an aardvark.
It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Do you know what an aardvark is?
No.
It's an anteater.
Oh, I didn't know that was the name.
I didn't until yesterday.
It was that one.
Dan told me.
Gibbon, it was that one with a massive tongue.
Yeah.
Do you remember how it tilted its head back and then its tongue flopped out? It was like a weird alien creature.
But he put his hand up first.
Oh, he did. He waved to us first, didn't he?
Why don't you talk through what happened? Tell the listeners.
They put.
It's all right, just
Wait,
say
is
it.
it he or she?
What do you want the anteater to be?
Hey. He put off his hands, then he lifted his head up, then he put out his tongue.
What was his tongue like?
Like a tape measure.
Like a tape measure. That's a great way of describing it.
What else did we see?
Giraffes.
Anything else happen? I'm trying to actually remember now what we did. Went on lots of parks, didn't we?
Yeah.
I had the greatest lemon meringue cronut in the world.
He wouldn't stop banging on about
They
it.
were banging.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had to be like that.
We had lunch near the giraffes, didn't we?
Yes.
But they didn't come out straight away.
And the giraffe didn't stop weeing.
Oh, yeah. It had a water issue.
Yeah. The giraffe's tail looked like the hair of a a 50-year-old
Who did we say?
rocker.
Who did? Oh. I can't say. It looks like someone we knew had his head inside the anus of the giraffe with the ponytail hanging out the back.
And it was actually him having a wee.
I mean, some of you will automatically know who we mean. And there was that man, while we was eating our food next to the giraffe, there was a man just eating it off the table raw, wasn't there?
That was disgusting.
Whoever you are, man, that was weird.
I think he was wiping up bird poo using his sandwich.
Like as a condiment.
As a condiment.
This sandwich is a little bit dry. Maybe I can add some of this dry bird shit onto it.
I fancy it.
Mummy! Dan just said the S word with the suffix hit.
I think he just fancied a bit of bird flu on his sandwich.
Add a taste. Seasoning.
And bugs.
And bugs, yeah. Oh, there was those monkeys that were up to a little bit of monkey's business as well, wasn't they?
Yeah, they were busy.
Very busy.
We saw some wild... Oh, there was some hyena...
Do you want to try again?
Hyenas or hyenas?
I don't think it's hyenas. Hyena.
Hyena. Hi, I'm from Hena.
Hi, I'm Hyena. Nice to meet you.
We saw... Oh, there was them... when we went to go and see the lions, there was just like clouds of flies, wasn't there? Midges. Yeah, I mean, you didn't mind it at all, did you?
Well, I did. Well, yeah, I did.
Gibbon, why did you tell me off? What was I doing that was naughty?
Oh, he was trying to throw seeds into the enclosures so then he could stroke an animal and steal it.
I mean, I never claimed I wanted to steal them.
I know, but you said you wanted to steal one of those little monkeys.
I did want to steal one of those little monkeys, yeah. And I stand by it. But I'd lined my pockets with seeds. Every pocket had seeds in.
Every pocket.
And I was distributing seeds to try and attract the animals. Unfortunately, how many animals did I stroke in the end, Gibbon?
0.
Damn it. I was unsuccessful.
And there was what were them? There was wallabies.
Capybaras.
Capybaras, they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
I tried to get close to a wallaby, but they just kept running away, didn't they?
Double.
Yeah, we could have had a game of double connect.
Well, just picking up the capybaras and putting them next to each other.
Yeah, and they could have played as well.
What kind of hoof did they have, though? I didn't see the hooves.
I mean, like the giraffes had a cloven hoof.
They did.
But I don't know what the capybaras had.
I think they're just a two kind of two-toed ungulate, I think the word is for them. I think they were two-toed ungulate.
Ungulate?
Ungulate.
Was that a kind of hoof?
It's kind of a foot.
cloven hoof?
It's a type of foot.
Dan likes a cloven hoof.
It's my favourite type of hoof.
Yeah, it is.
I'm always bloody going on about it.
You're always banging on about them. Trying to think if we saw anything else.
Oh, we saw... Oh, like those kangaroo things. Wallabies.
Yeah.
Wallabies.
We've already talked about them.
Yeah, if you were listening to me.
We've already talked about them.
What else did we see then?
Sea lions. What about that weird fox thing? What was it called?
Yeah, the long-maned wolf.
Yes, exactly.
Wolf.
Wolf.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, it looked like a massive fox.
Yeah.
But yet he was a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was wolfing.
An orange wolf.
An orange wolf, yeah.
Well, what were those things when we first went in and you were like, oh, I love them? And it just sat there staring at you. It's the first thing we saw. It looked like a sea lion or something. It looked like a walrus, but it wasn't. It was underneath like a little shack. There was two of them sitting next to each other.
Tapirs.
Tapir.
I love a tapir. In most zoos, they're readily available to be stroked, but unfortunately, this zoo was quite high security.
There was a gate, and then a gap, and then a gate, and then there were the animals.
That was what Dan thought was high security.
It was high security. I couldn't get anywhere near them.
Yeah, well, yeah, you couldn't.
No, I couldn't. I
You
was
couldn't
gutted.
climb the gate.
I mean, I could, but
You
not...
couldn't.
I couldn't.
You couldn't.
Do you not think I'm capable?
No, you couldn't have climbed that gate.
I mean, technically I could have, I think. I'd have struggled, yes. And I'd have been very out of breath and out of shape doing it. But I think I could have climbed. There was barely any guards around. Zookeepers.
Yeah, zookeepers.
Not guards. They didn't carry guns. Or batons. Maybe they had batons, I'm not too sure. Imagine getting batoned at the zoo.
I've just thought what we saw.
Wow.
Red pandas.
We did.
Oh, but they were asleep, weren't they?
They were like little red balls in the tree.
Little red balls.
Balls.
Balls. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. They looked like, I don't know, they look really fluffy, don't they?
They look friendly. That's what they looked.
I
They
don't
looked very
believe that
friendly.
I don't think they could be that comfy in a tree.
Yeah, you was
Surely,
complaining about...
I'm not convinced.
Yeah, but Daniel, as I said then, there's lots of creatures that live and sleep in trees.
Dreaming!
In the tree house. Radical.
Right, I think that's it. I think that's kind of sums up Yorkshire Wildlife Park.
Thank you for joining us, Gibbon.
How many out of 10 would you rate it?
How many animals out of 10?
Wait, so like count the animals?
No, just like...
The score.
The score.
Oh, the score. 10.
That's 10 animals out of 10.
Well, that took long enough. Right.
That's 4 hours.
I needed to have a think.
Brilliant.
Thanks for joining the show. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, God. Merry Christmas.
We're so sorry to see you go, but thanks for tuning into the show. Hold back your tears so sweet, bid you farewell. If you love what you hear, subscribe and give us a follow. This is farewell. We bid you farewell. If you love what you hear, subscribe and give us a follow. This is farewell. We bid you farewell. If you love what you hear, subscribe and give us a follow. This is farewell. We bid you farewell. If you like what you hear, subscribe and give us a follow.